On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we will talk to you about even more Learning With Manga, banners, even more banners about other stuff, and then some more banners, and some Saint Courts, and then there's going to be a stream, I guess? I don't know. There's some stuff. Maybe. Kind of.
Yes.
It's a slow week, okay? Anyway, hi. I'm one of your hosts, Omega. With me, as always, that other guy you heard just now is Lucky, and today we're just kind of guys chilling out here in the hole. We're like those two voices that narrate to you the first 10 minutes of that anime before the real characters show up. We're those guys.
This must be a low-budget anime. Anyway, I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Floating in the Abyss. And while we here at StudiOmega like to bring you the latest in FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game, so anyone not want a spoiler should prepare for Volume 2.
That's the name of my high school ska band, Low Budget Anime.
Let's add it to the list of bands we will eventually put in AP.
Yeah, that's us. Also, to be fair, we are and have always been somewhat low budget.
Yeah,
like it took us a couple years to invest 3 digits worth of dollars into this technology.
We're getting there though, slowly but surely.
At the very least, we were never on a shoestring budget. Like at no point were we actually recording with tin cans. Though some of our early mic quality might sound like it. Heyo. Anyway, before we talk about anything else and go anywhere or do anything, I would like to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam DeHarp, Ahanga Hammix, Architect 10, Blackastochi, Carlos, Qua, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Kylie Denton, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kester, Recent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Shiny P, Some Guy Named Bob, Soda's on over to for 723 and Zach Reed. If you like what we do want to see more, consider us a patron. You get access to episodes early on, so the good help us out. Thank you for support, everybody.
Thank you.
Especially in these times. So, speaking of these times, we'll mention that one first. On the off chance, because, you know, Let's Talk FGO is usually our bigger show. On the off chance you did not see my community post about it and did not notice how this week we did not stream, this is technically an FGO-related story, but currently on our YouTube channel we are under a singular copyright strike, which prevents us from streaming for 90 days until it goes away, which seems like a really, really, really long time. Anyway, we'll circle back to that.
One. Fuck.
Well, technically it's not, but because remember, we got an ancient one for StudiOmega Power Hour.
Oh, that's right.
So we don't have to complete copyright school. However, I'm pretty sure that we weren't streaming then, so we wouldn't have noticed if we couldn't have streamed for 90 days. I don't know. Anyway, so to talk about this, I can explain this story a little bit if you've only heard bits and pieces, as I know some people have. Sorry, I just realized Lucky has a very funny name on Google right now, because it's showing me what the last edit of this document is, and I was slightly perplexed. Anyway, sorry about the copyright thing. So, I won't say that this is my quote-unquote fault, because there are absolutely other parties who I feel like should be at fault here, but technically this sequence of events was kind of kickstarted by me. Over the weekend, I was looking at another completely bullshit, meaningless copyright claim on an ancient PS4 Bloodborne stream I did, so it was very clearly very fake. But as I was, cycling through our things and noticing some of our copyright issues, I did notice that roughly a year-old stream by Lucky, last stream of the decade, was still blocked. And I was like, oh yeah, what's this blocked for? It's an audio-visual tag. It was on the new opening animation and song for Cosmos and the Lost Belt for FGO when that updated. And I'm like, this is a stream. I'm pretty sure, while Lucky's not a complete animal who would talk over the theater, I'm pretty sure that he's talking and interacting with chat while this goes on. I'll file a fair use claim and try and get it popped, because it was a very big stream, and if not, nothing bad will happen, he said, before something bad happened. Because I want to preface this. While Sony Media Entertainment Group's apparent response was to power slam that copyright strike button, I have absolutely done disputes on copyright claims, not strikes, but claims before, where the other party just goes, nah, and then YouTube comes back to me and says, hey, the other party doesn't believe your side of the dispute. If you want to protest this, you'll have to, file an actual counterclaim and blah, blah, blah with lawyers. So, hey, it is totally a legit option for them to have just said, nah, fam. That is not what happened. And instead we were, in fact, hit with a copyright strike for that video, which, by the way, was already blocked in all regions. I don't really get the logic. I guess, just like I said, Sony Media Entertainment Group's robot that handles these things is just really overzealous. I don't know. And so that's just, it's just got filed. It'll expire after 90 days, but there's literally nothing else you can do except wait for it to expire and deal with it, I guess. Thanks, YouTube. If you have any complaints about this current situation, please direct them to YouTube support. And I do actually mean direct them to YouTube support. Don't just be like, yell in our Discord, I'll never forgive YouTube. We appreciate the sympathetic statements, but that doesn't actually change anything. Not that necessarily emailing YouTube would anyway, but hypothetically that might reach a human being who can do something. As this happens all the time with other channels. Sorry to cut you off, Lucky.
No, it's fine. Just to put it in perspective, saying I'll never forgive YouTube is basically on the same level as thoughts and prayers.
Yes. It's nice for us to hear that we're in your thoughts and prayers. That doesn't actually do anything. So, yeah.
StudiOmega, we're a bit of realists.
No. And like, hey, it's just, stuff happens. Like I said, we've dealt with it before, and we've learned some lessons we need to keep in mind. Like, I probably won't poke Sony anymore on disputes if they block something. I'll just be like, okay, it's blocked. That's the best thing that could happen, and we'll be more careful, which we've made a lot of strides in our streaming technology, not that we can show that to you right now, but this is just a perfect opportunity for my gallows humor to come out. But, to, like, throw up screens and blockers and prevent audio-visual matches and stuff. Heck, I think I even... Not that I hope, Sony or whoever is not listening, but I even think I managed to get our old FGO summer stream where Lucky pipped in the 5th anniversary live stream. I managed to get that unclaimed with just a couple of edits and some, like, fair use commentary, because obviously it's a pip, picture-in-picture, so Lucky is also literally playing the game while it plays. If that's not transformative, I don't know what is. But yeah,
Lucky is a bit of an animal.
Yeah. We will continue to work on it and be aware in the future. In the meantime, we don't know exactly what we're going to do. We figured we'd bring it up with the community. We've got a couple of different options, like Lucky has his own YouTube channel. I don't have a separate one anymore, but I can literally click a button to make one, because this YouTube channel you're watching this on right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, hey, be sure to give us a like right now. Thanks. Watch this video maybe like 5 more times. Anyway, that's a brand account, which is how, for instance, Lucky can have a personal channel and also do stuff on our YouTube channel. I could easily make me a personal channel and switch back and forth like Lucky does. AKA never remember to switch back and forth and watch all kind of random videos on our business account.
I do that, but to be fair, since this is your only account, the history is fucking wild.
Oh, yeah, no, we're all over the place. No, the question would be more of, like, how much do we remember to switch back the YouTube channel? Not intentionally don't switch back. I'm gonna take the sure, go ahead. Here. I had another couple of theories to talk about, but you can talk about that thing.
Yeah, so basically the idea with is a little bit of decentralization. The StudiOmega account would still basically be used for, Let's Talk FGO, What's Up, and probably, collaborative streams and whatnot. But if we were to decentralize into personal channels and start, like, drawing you guys to those, we can probably put more things like personal projects or things that we might be not entirely feel or more experimental or don't feel particularly mesh with the channel. Omega was talking about this earlier. For now, we haven't had to do that because at the moment, having all our eggs in one basket wasn't necessarily a bad idea. And to be fair, it still really isn't.
Yeah, because, like, practically, like, this was something I think I was going to say, no matter what, at the end of this statement, we are still out some watch time and some ad rev and super chats, for instance, for the next 90 days, right?
Yeah.
Even if we switch to personal channels, it will take us quite a while, even if we got literally everyone already subbed to our channel to jump over there. It would still take us a process to get that approved for that stuff again.
Yeah.
But, like Lucky's saying, it's still a way to get content to you other ways. And we can always rehost on our core YouTube channel.
Yeah. But, so basically, the idea would be to, like, Lucky does, Let's Plays on occasion, and we'll just sometimes go through a whole, a whole game through, videos or stream, usually first-person shooters, now that I think about it, or third-person shooters. Because on our channel, right now, actually, there is, just full-on plays of Lucky playing, Resident Evil 4, the entire Fear series 1 through 3, BioShock, and, like, half of Dead Space. I could easily just port those, like, because, YouTube has the tools, I can literally just download it, re-upload it to my own channel, and be like, hey, guys, subscribe to this and give me some watch time, please, so I can maybe stream to you guys. And from there, I can continue posting new games and whatnot and other little weird, wacky things that might come up and not have to worry about it contaminating whatever our main channel is.
Yeah, I mentioned this to you before, Mike, that at some point I was definitely, because we can do sub-channels and stuff, I would definitely be thinking about breaking out my growing amount of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content onto its own channel. It's just that at the moment, we don't have enough output that, like, not putting it all in our channel that has monetization is a problem. But we could easily consider that for future. Like, for me, I would probably... I just like to take test footage and upload tests. Like, I actually like to show people our work. Like, some people may know from the community, if you've watched, like, the stream archive, because I streamed to Discord that Tuesday, that I figured this was a problem. I mostly did it out of rebellion. I was very sassy, so I decided to stream anyway, and I hung out with people and did Oxygen Not Included. But, the video footage for that I uploaded to YouTube was a little choppy. I had to, like, flip many levers and activate many dummy modes on my capture software to make it run well. Well, hey, how I know it runs well is I've got about an hour of just me playing Oxygen Not Included with no commentary that I could, like, throw up for people to look at, right? To see if it's good. But also, it's not, like, a real channel video either. It's literally me playing gameplay with, like, no extra spice, no commentary. It's just test footage. So... It's similar to what Lucky's talking about with, like, different projects and things. Wrong lever? That's definitely some of my OBS experience this week.
But, so, before we actually go through any of that stuff, though, we definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. I meant to write a community, like, it was great, too. Like, this happened, what, Tuesday?
Yeah, I think the strike actually happened, like, early morning Monday, but we didn't realize it was a problem until Tuesday.
Yeah. But... then 2 days later, Lucky was literally like, wait, I have a channel. Can I do something with that? And then, I kicked down the door to our March channel. I was like, Omega! Ideas.
Yeah. And, like,
and
I'll make a community post about it. I'm like, that's okay, dude. I need to relax a little bit.
And then I did not make a community post about it. So expect a community post later where you can put comments, suggestions, and your own ideas.
And before you say it again, I mean, you'll probably say it again anyway, but yes, we have heard several people... talk about the Twitch thing again. That's still has the same problem as all other alternative avenues, but is not entirely out of the question in terms of, like, experimentation now, just because we don't necessarily have anything better to do. Just it still doesn't inherently solve our problem.
But I believe that's all I have to say on it.
Yeah, so we'll hit you guys up again, with more things. We have to exactly work out what we're doing and how we're doing it with what's up tomorrow, just because it's a sudden turnaround. So expect stuff to be a little chaotic. I think I said in the community post about the strike that I will for the moment try and maybe throw up a couple more extra videos on our main channel, so you guys still have something to watch for long periods of time, like a stream. But other than that, we will keep to our usual content. And I think I was going to mention this of just like. While we will be experimenting with a lot of things, I also think that just for a little bit, maybe I might be just keeping myself to myself for a little bit, just because I've been running very hard and hot this whole week dealing with this, and just might need to take a step back and just kind of a little.
We're in the middle of a training arc, y'all.
Yeah, that's actually funny too, because even without the block, I was also actually working to improve my like video project assembling skills and work on new things, and then now it's like, well, everything better to do. Like, so, completely unrelated note, but people will know, especially from listening to What's Up, I've been in a D&D game with some members of the community for a while now. Well, it's a new school semester, so we're probably going to have to put D&D in hiatus because, as you might expect, nobody's schedule's lined up anymore, as you do. But it was a very funny comment where I was just like, well, so technically, my Tuesdays are now technically free, for the foreseeable future, and just, like, a lot of those little, like, yeah, my schedule's all over the place. But anyway, we'll work through it, and, we appreciate your support during these times. Thanks for being there with us, even when we can't sometimes bring you stuff you like. And, if you want to make sure to support us in this time period, not only can you get, like, YouTube memberships and stuff, and, maybe even, like, dig up some old videos that don't have a lot of views and like watch some of our back catalog, also consider supporting us on Patreon, too, which is completely separate from any other shenanigans we may have with YouTube. And, you can support us for a whole year for $10. It's great.
It's great.
Anyway.
You're great.
Yeah, all of you are great. If you're here right now listening to us, you're great. Anyway, let's talk about some real FGO and not just how annoying Sony is sometimes. So,
inside Sakamoto's recording studio.
Yes, well, yeah. I think it's well known that Maya Sakamoto's agency is very intense. Also, people have actually been going through the backlog. I know that's a thing that some absolute madmen do, is they will actually pull open the playlist and go back to number 1 and run through. More power to you if you want to.
No, thinking about episode 1 Lucky kills me. No!
Hey, remember how I said at least we weren't literally on tin cans? That's about all I think we can say for those first couple episodes.
Oh no.
But, hey, it's time now to check in with everybody's favorite pinup. Mash. As soon as I remember where my button is. There it is.
Senpai! 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Wake the Fuck Up, Senpai, or Rogue Second for Pro Tips. I have a very simple one this week, but it's important because I needed to be reminded of this. But I don't know the exact date. Hopefully somebody in chat can supply it with me. But, hey, Chaldea Tea Time is going away soon. It's going to go in the Disney Vault, and it's going to be gone for a little bit. And then afterward, you're going to need rare prisms. So, if you don't have it yet, work on those rare prisms, y'all.
Do I have FGO open right now? Let me see here. An investment that Lucky actually made it into was a goddamn wireless charger stand, so I can charge my phone while it's on my computer without having a bunch of fucking weird cords.
Nice.
So yes,
that's good.
So hang on here. So shop. Wait, I bought them all. Fuck, I don't
know if it'll display because hey, spoilers. We're about to move into Records from the Throne. So for me,
wait, here it is. 16 days.
Yeah, you got 16 days to get a total of 5,000 mana prisms for all copies. No assuming whether or not you've bought other copies previously. And it's going to be really important for a while, and it will be gone until probably anniversary, maybe, before it'll show up in the Rare Prism shop or something. It'll be a little bit, so this is your last opportunity for a while. So let's skip to Records from the Throne. Related to that event, which we done doggone did, Omega cleared the CQ. It wasn't that hard, though those monkeys were a little annoying. And I cleared the points ladder completely. Yay! And also, as spurred by that sequence of events, I did MLB tea time, and I now have 2 mana prisms. 2 whole prisms. Actually, I don't know if I have exactly 2 anymore, but after I was done buying all of them, I had 2. Okay. That's me's.
That's him's. So, hang on, Lucky is fighting through some tabs here at the moment. One second. Save!
Sorry, I was briefly distracted by our main channel in Discord, Let's Talk FGO, where people are already trying to call the ball on Valentine's. Which, to be fair, now is a good time for that. We'll talk about it in detail.
Our Valentine's or a new Valentine's?
A new Valentine's.
Ooh.
The servant. Because, that is a fair call because, we'll talk more about it in detail, but there is a stream coming up, and I do believe last year they showed, Sei Shonagon's picture on a stream well before her event came out.
Yes.
Yeah, where they didn't talk about her name, but they called her Kira Kira Archer. Sparkling Archer.
So, Lucky's, records. So, yesterday, Lucky was dying. It was still the Altera Da Vinci rate up, and I'm like, guys, I want to roll. I want to roll. The time is now. I feel it. The stars are aligned. The ley lines are in flux. And I rolled. Because originally my plan was to wait till tonight. Because tonight actually goes to the solo Da Vinci rate up. I dropped enough money for an 80 pack. I was like, I'm going to need this. And I did. I only had 67 chords at the time. So 2 10 spins, got nada. I think I got a fuck ton of 4-star CEs. Oh yeah, and I got one of the I think I got a missing Rio CE, surprisingly enough. Yay. But fucking third one at the 90 chords mark, right into that first 10 spin of the stuff I paid for. Boom, Da Vinci showed up. I am becoming increasingly convinced that my luck is horrible until I spend money, and then it just jumps several levels at some points. My luck is too good to. I'm scared. Take a drink, everyone. But I pulled a Ganryu and 3 pools, spent no money, and I'm just like, this is too good. I'm concerned.
Danger.
The backlash will be powerful. I need to go do some feng shui or some shit. But also, I am LBT time.
Yay.
And quickly, we'll go on to Not All the World's Evil, but Damn Close. Lucky has an entry today. Somehow, some way, somewhere, I missed a day of prosperity, and I only have 4.6 million. Now, I'm a little confused about this because I'm pretty sure my math was on point. I checked it, double-checked it, triple-checked it, asked other people, I was like, yeah, is everything right? And they're like, everyone's like, yeah, no, you should do it every day. Logged in every day, and yet for some odd reason, still didn't make it. It's technically is possible that I forgot to log in a 24-hour between 10 a.m. and 10 a.m., but I highly doubt it. I did break my login streak again, but I basically logged in immediately after the streak. I think did I scream about it on your stream? I think it was. No, I think it was immediately after stuff.
Maybe
but
immediately after.
Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, time to log in." I was like, "Shit, fuck, ah." Yeah.
No, that was, I believe that was, the missing login was on audio, actually, I think.
Yeah.
It was in, like, the last hour when Lucky just bursts in.
No, the event ends in, like, heckin' 3 hours. Less than 3 hours.
Yeah, it ends at midnight, which is slightly annoying that, like, there's this whole period where the event is still happening, but the points won't count anymore.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just how shit works with FGOs.
I said, like, I'm a little nettled, but I'm not upset. Like, I have all of them except the last one, which is still only another 1 million QP. It's just the fact that I like the calculations are off, the math was wrong. I just literally just plowed the blender into Mars. Like, whoops.
Yeah, your jimmies are slightly rustled.
Mm-hmm. Someone puts me a vibrating gorilla.
I don't see it happening. Anyway, we'll see if they catch up. Okay.
There we go. Yes, maximum over Russell.
That might be a little too far. Hey,
and it's fine.
Let's ask people. Sorry,
I
don't know. I think the pressure of actually recording is now the stress is leaving my body, which usually siphons all energy from my life force.
So apparently, Vet Bear posted a gorilla. Or is
Of course they did. Hey, kind of gorilla. I don't think I'm as hot on VTubers as I was, but I still watch a lot of memes.
I mean, yesterday I almost missed my buzz because I sat down, saw Corone was streaming Sonic, sat down 10 minutes, I'm all like this dog going like, shit, I'm late.
Yeah, well that's Corone streams.
I did the anime schoolgirl thing, except it's instead of fucking sailor suits and bread, it's, winter gear and a donut crammed into my mouth.
No, donut. Okay.
Donut.
So, let's ask people, did you finish your master missions? Sorry about slight sleepy ASMR makeup, but like I said, the life force is currently leaving my body. Maybe you should have sounded something a little more fortifying than mac and cheese to eat. Anyway, your master missions this week are butt simple. Butt-ass simple. Naked butt-ass idiot simple. I don't got a third version of that. I need you to do 30 FP summons. I need you to defeat 20 enemies, not servants or bosses, then defeat 40 enemies, not servants or bosses, acquire 2 gems or statues, acquire 4 gems or statues, do 10 quests. This is like, not even do the event tier. This is like, remember to play FGO, please. Don't forget about us.
I literally did them all today.
Yeah, I don't know when I did them, but when I logged in to check them, they were all done. Like, I know how I got the 30 FP summons, because I actually rolled a lot on the FP gotcha to siphon mana prisms, because I needed like 80 or 100 or something, and that was a way more time-efficient manner than just beating up dailies.
Mm-hmm.
So I just rolled and burned some shit.
Burn it!
I didn't get a lot of mana prisms that way. But yeah, they were all just done when I checked today. I'm just like, okay, great, thanks. Bye.
Bye. Yes, exactly.
Yes, this was actually like a dead week in JP. Hey, speaking of JP, let's do some news, Lucky.
Yeah.
So we got 2 JP items up first, one of them more interesting than the other. But hey, one of them is still pretty neat. We're having a Saber Wars II rerun banner 2. It's twice the reruns, twice the banners. That's going from the 13th until the 27th. It's nothing special, but MHX is on raid up, as is Yagyu. So that's a decent second part banner if you already have Calamity Jane and Space Ishtar, because MHX is limited,
Nice.
Yagyu is story locked. It's got the same CEs and stuff too, so, if for some reason you had no reason to roll on that first banner raid up, you can roll on this one. Go you. Don't go too crazy though, because JP has announced Winter Caravan Online 2021, their first session. There will be a stream the 17th, hosted by Mafia, with guests Kenji Akabane, VA of Kadok, and also now Tsunono Watanabe, Ayako Kawasumi, and Aoi Yuki.
It's gonna be a blood stream, y'all.
Big money, no whammies. There'll be there's currently a commemorative CE quest, and there's a RT campaign going on in JP for 6 Saint Courts. Seems a little low, but whatever. I guess it's, the stream's in like 2 days, so they only have so much to drum up. But yeah, so this will involve because they're switching to a mostly online model because of how things are for everybody, but also Japan right now, especially. So we'll see how their setup is. I do know that I've seen some screen caps of Caldea Radio's hosts not only with the plexiglass plane, but also wearing masks, right? Just to double down and reinforce to everybody to be cool. Everybody be cool, wear a mask, wash your hands. Don't go anywhere unless you have to. Don't go to the mall if for some reason your mall is still open. That's dumb. But people are already wondering about what will be there. There will be, I think, like a 20-minute pre-show of just like FGO staff talk, which is supposed to be staff and management of FGO talk about the FGO project and related projects, where I'm going to go ahead and call that's where whatever arcade news that's going to make you mad will happen.
Yeah.
And then they'll do the actual Winter Festival talk at the actual start time with the guests. And I'm already going to say that while they probably will not full-blown preview the Valentine's event this year, because that's still got to be a couple weeks away, we're only halfway through the month. Last year they did a similar stream for their Winter Festival, and they showed Sei Shonagon's design under the alias of Kira Kira Archer, so we may get shades of Valentine's early. Alternatively, they may fire off a short non-story event, like, if not an Amazon-esque or Setsubun rerun, an event like those, just to give you something to do for the last couple weeks. Or it could be a rerun, I don't remember. We literally had this conversation last week, I don't remember it, but there's one rerun that should be in the hopper somewhere. Rerun Samba Cats! What? Who said that?
Wasn't me.
Was that a bird? Perhaps a feathered serpent? Anyway, we do have some NA news. We have an equal number of NA news items, and I think they're about as long, so funny how that symmetry works. You guys already know about this. I actually posted a news desk because it dropped anyway on a Wednesday.
Surprise!
But we got the even more Learning With Manga campaign, running from the 13th to the 20th, so basically a week. There's a commemorative CE quest. There's double friend points and suck chance on Learning With Manga type servants. This list is freakishly long. I will not repeat it. You can look it up. There is a banner, which you already know about because Lucky already talked about how he rolled on it. It's got Da Vinci, Altera, Liz, Kirki, and Kyo on it, and also all the Ryodron CEs up to this point. And, well, I think we do want to actually talk about that commemorative quest a little bit, because it was almost a real quest.
Almost.
The other thing to note here is that this is a fairly big break from schedule. I think the only other time we've come close is when they did the Babylonia anime collab stuff for us, right? Because this event originally happened in, like, I want to say, is May the hell month? The month of deadness? It's May or June, where literally fucking nothing happened between, like, White Day and, Okyu was the last one, and then between Okyu and Lost Belt 4, literally fucking nothing happened, basically. There was this campaign, there was Meiho Residence, which was, while I'm sure it will be interesting to read, it's basically like how the Kogetsukan event was, so it was, do a story every day. And there was, like, interlude campaigns and class-based campaigns. It was a whole lot of nothing for almost a literal month. So they have pushed this up to now in another dead week. Presumably because with the way our anniversary is placed, where it has to happen basically a month before JP's anniversary, they can't actually afford to have a week full of dead space. They need to put new servants in there so that they can do the GSSR and get our life-affirming money juice. Or I can cash in on the fact that this summer I gave them my life-affirming money juice already and don't need to. But I'm not going to claim that between now and anniversary, I'm not going to go all the way to 0 Saint Courts. Because that's what it would require. I think I have like 18 paid courts left or something after GSSR on New Year's. Anyway. So, yeah, it was shocking, but it's absolutely necessary. And might see another couple of, like, dead weeks turned into semi-event weeks. So let's actually talk a little bit about that quest. Written by Rio.
7 pips?
Yep. 7 pips, only one fight, versus an evil book.
It was a giant book.
And honestly, like, I think the text and tone of the story was actually really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost basically like a volume of the Learning with manga ended up in real Chaldea and was brainwashing people
Mhm.
in a shipping sense, causing weird, slightly Yuri interactions between Kiyohime and Liz, which is a ongoing joke in Learning With. The other joke that Altera and Helena are paired up, and of course the fact that the female master is an absolute animal person with noodle tentacle arms in some kind of suspicious relationship with Mash that real life Mashu did not quite understand. Love that Da Vinci comment.
You gotta drop that ball, Romani.
I do like, though, that Da Vinci's super genius powers is she reads it just like, oh, this is dumb. This is real dumb. You're like, Da Vinci, are you brainwashed? No. It's just stupid. But it has some interesting thoughts, because basically it's... I won't say it's a full-blown tirade against, like, doujinshi and fanfiction, but at the very least, it's commentary.
I would say it's a call out against the more negative aspects of the situation.
Yes, it's definitely a damnation of fans who push their, as we would call it, headcanon too far.
Yeah.
Which I do think is important to remind everybody every now and then.
I think Da Vinci put it like, it's like, she said it's fine to, like, reimagine, like, situations and think into them, but when you start accepting that your way is, like, the only way, that's when you're wrong.
Yes. And trying to, in this case, it was magical brainwashing, but I think the real life parallel is, like, if you send angry letters to creators that they didn't do your ship in the show, how dare them, that's when you kind of fall off the bus, and it's bad.
This message is brought to you by the universal man of culture, Da Vinci.
Ding!
That was great.
Oh, I love that. There is also some like side commentary about Yuri genre there, where at one point you could basically be like, "What? Huh? Is that how Yuri genre works?"
No, look, it was totally like, well, actually, and Da Vinci's just like, shush.
Da Vinci's like, quiet you. I'm talking to a book right now. But it's very funny and lighthearted. It references Learning with Manga without going quite like all the statesman type deep lore dive. It's a lot faster, obviously. But it has, some good jokes. Yeah, don't pull a misery. It has some good jokes, some good in-jokes, some references, and also I think still has some positive messages. Possibly even some, I won't say like full-blown CYA, but like some counter-comments from the author who... Ryo's interpretation of the characters is very weird, yes. But I think another part of this is basically them saying, because this was written by Ryo, and quote-unquote unsupervised by Kinoku Nasu, basically being like, hey, y'all, I'm just having fun, don't take me seriously.
Ah, yeah.
That said, please take Learning with Manga slightly more seriously, and give me manga assassin and manga writer. Please. Please.
Please.
I don't care that North America would probably find Assassin J. Edgar Hoover weird. Just do it. Do it anyway.
Do it, you coward.
No balls, you won't. That's the problem. FGO absolutely would. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's everything. Lucky, got any other thoughts on that?
No, like I said, you pretty much said everything I wanted to say. It was just fun. I think the only regret that I had is in the final thing when you're basically like, you're basically watching Liz and Kiyohime Fate. I kind of wish that the sassy line would have been, instead of, I can't remember what it was, but instead of just saying what this would be, like, just this too is Yuri. Just pulled some fucking Roma
that
out.
Is kind of what the...
That is kind of
what the line is like, but yeah, the scripting could have been a little tighter. Like, you could have made it a full-blown in-joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that.
Mm-hmm.
Get it while you can. Also, as a result, the book turns into the CE Shekshi pinup, which I feel like Mesh is not really that embarrassed about. Wild. However, we've hit another milestone in NA. It's our second news item. We have hit 1,300 days as of today, this recording, the 15th of January. 10 cent coins, boom. Yay.
I need to organize this fucking folder better, because I can't find shit.
That happens.
Is it? Why is the map of Soho Live in a What's Up thumbnail in here? This is the servant folder.
That doesn't make any gosh darn sense.
I don't know why.
I mean, I know occasionally when I'm working with MS Paint or whatever, I'll accidentally save a What's Up thumbnail in the FGO thumbnails folder because literally 24 hours before I did an FGO thumbnail in that folder. But still, yeah. Anyway, 1300 days, super cool. Get 10 quartz. Yay.
Yay.
All right. Well, while that did take us almost 40 minutes to power through all that stuff.
Hey, go us.
I think I said this the way I phrased it off mic was, this show basically has no ass. Hey, if you want to skip ahead in the time codes, I am going to do Fan Servant Friday this week because those notes are pre-written. But other than that, there would literally be no back half of the show. So I think we're going to do full mailbag today.
Probably. Yeah, I'm okay with it. We got 35. That's a chunky number.
I might fall asleep halfway through, but I'll be fine.
Okay, Lucky figured out why he couldn't find it because he never saved it in the first place.
Rip.
Well, I'm going to put this down for now. Thinking about my life, lay on the floor, get back up, sit in the chair, and we're going to do some mailbag. So
you get right back up and you eat that horse.
Anyway, everyone, welcome, Yokoso, to this week's Let's Talk FGO mailbag. It's Friday the 15th, 2021. We got 35 entries, and we're going to read them all. Hope you're excited. I'm excited. But without further ado, we're going to get started right meow.
Go gadget mailbag.
So our first one comes from the girl who finally feeling normal again after being diagnosed with bipolar disorder 2 years ago.
Heavy.
Congratulations. Good feel. Powerful. But they say, question, imagine going on a date with your favorite FGO waifu. Where would you take her? Do you think you'll have fun afterwards? Me, my number one waifu is Tamamo, and I would probably go for I'd probably do a home date. We don't like to do something fancy.
Well, also, right now, I mean...
Yeah. Well, true. Also true. But, sit on the porch, watch the sky, eat delicious food. Dates don't have to be fancy, y'all. They really don't.
Touch fluffy tail. Wait, what?
That's what comes after Omega.
Hey, that's in the question.
It's true. I guess that's true. But yes, there will be much fluff.
Muff.
Muff.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm a little sleepy right now. I'm trying to think. As a person, I'm not really much like you said. I'm not really big on big outside go out stuff either. But I don't know. My favoriteest characters are usually scored as Ishtar or Mordred. I think I've said this before, though. I feel like it's a lot easier to prep for Medusa. But no, right now we'd probably have to do something internal because as even referenced by Summer Ishtar, doing world travel shit's real rough right now. But I think, we could probably... You could call it a date, but you could definitely probably do, some fun video game stuff. Play some games. Mordred's probably too smooth brand for board games, but video games are fine. If you want to get physical, you could roll out something intense, like rhythm games. I don't own a DDR pad, but I could.
I kind of miss DDR. I really do.
Yeah, well, say lovey. I'm just thinking, I don't know how many two-person board games Mordred can handle. Maybe we could play Junior Monopoly, like I did with my tiny nieces and nephews. No, I'm kidding.
Apples to apples.
Mordred's not a complete Moran, but she would definitely not be ready for something like Carcassonne. Actually, I don't know. Maybe Mordred would surprise me with Carcassonne, because that's all about managing medieval. No, she does not have tactics. She has instinct, though.
Instinct, that's what it was.
But I was about to say, Carcassonne is all about managing medieval towns and stuff. Mordred might actually surprise me. That, or she'd just get mad that it's not like real-life administration.
It's like, what do you mean I just can't cut off their heads and put them on display? That's
why must the farm match up to the city? Why can't I just put it this way? You can put a farm inside a city. That's not how the rules work. Stabs. All right, anyway.
Fuck the rule. I have sword.
Yeah, chaotic neutral. All right. Well, yeah, that's what I
Anyway, that's what you got. So thank you very much. We're going to move on. The next one comes from He Who Got Legendary Coco Goat, just as planned. I hope you didn't burn your wallet. But they say, I don't know really what to say other than I'm here to give you guys the views that I can and the likes I can, guys. Question, how's other games going? Gotcha otherwise. Having fun with Ganyu right now. Other games are going as other games go. If you're curious, tune into What's Up, and you will tell you all about them.
Sure. Yeah, that's usually what we do. Hey, if you don't watch What's Up, watch What's Up, because at the very least, we will pay lip service to gacha games we're playing right now. And if something's actually happening, we'll talk about it.
And maybe this week we might be playing something. Maybes. Anyway, so thank you very much for that. Make sure to turn on the What's Up. We move on. This one comes from Secret Casino King Bun Bun, who says, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing well yourself, my dude. Take care, be safe, be healthy, and live strong.
I think that's about 5 different wristbands Lucky just listed off right there.
Probably. Give me a shout out in the comments if you want StudiOmega wristbands.
I'm pretty sure we can do that format.
Probably. Actually. Anyway.
It should just be like a wristband or a slap band that's just like pitch black with a big, bold, red impact font text that just says tyranny.
Yeah, and I'll put a fucking tyranny bunny head on either end of it.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Just to remind you in life, sometimes.
Anyway, we move on. This next one comes
What
from
would
Win
tyranny
Thighs Save Lives. I can't.
Rin Thighs, save lives. Let's go.
Rin Thighs. Who says, question, what anime editions did you like the most? I liked UBW giving Ilya her mother's powers and the epilogue being logical to meet Luvia and Waver while Babylon the Gilgamesh versus Enkidu fight was a fun addition to watch. What is with run... How much punctuation was in this second sentence? Hang on.
There's an apostrophe and a period. There absolutely should definitely be, if not a full stop, a comma in the middle there. Those are 2 separate thoughts, sir or madam. Also, you missed a space between question and what. There's supposed to be a space after the colon? Anyway.
Like UBW giving Ilya her mother's power. Wait, what? Did I miss that? I might have missed that.
Yeah, and UBW Ilya does the same kind of wireframe attacks that
okay.
Irishfield does, which is not necessarily true to the original visual novel. What I was going to say was, this is not quite, but this is almost another one of those bold of you to assume kind of questions, that we would notice all of the, like, anime-only additions to everything, because, you know, a lot of times we're secondaries.
Yeah.
That said, though, I can agree that I think it worked out really well with the way they phrased it, right? And framed it with that brief conflict with Gil and Enkidu, or Kingu rather, on the beach in the Babylonian anime was like a really good way to handle that fight. Where in the actual test, the original game, Gil never comes out of the lighthouse, right?
Yeah.
Like
that
actually builds character and allows for an action scene that otherwise wouldn't have been there.
I'll never forgive that they didn't do Sky High Rider Justice Bomb, though. Never.
Yeah.
But actual other additions, honestly, I guess I have to say just the whole Tiamat sequence of, you know, running through fucking floating rocks.
Oh yeah.
You know,
just not just booping Tiamat's snoot, but actually like having a dynamics there.
Yeah. I think that's probably my favorite, but unfortunately because it's one of the few that have both the original and the adaptation. Like I said, I'm a dirty secondary. I don't give no fucks, but so it makes it a little hard for me to, you know, actually spot differences between the original work and adaptations.
Yeah, that and also it's hard to access some of these OGs. Wild how that works.
I know, right? Anyway, but thank you very much. I hope we gave you some good answers. We're gonna move on to Cahulian God. Let's see, with Grand Carnival on the horizon, what inside the box or outside the box jokes, skits, or plot scenarios, commas, people, fuck! Would you like to see?
I would like to point out for the audience at home that the all caps commas, comma, people, comma, fuck, exclamation point was not in the actual text. That was all like that was editorializing. However, it is important. Commas, they matter. They're the difference between let's eat grandma and let's eat grandma.
Okay. But anyway, actually, question. Honestly, like I said, from what I understand, it's probably going to be all original content, and just from what they showed from the preview, I'm like, whatever, just give it to me. Like,
I mean, I feel like there could be some interesting callbacks to old skits from the original Carnival, like the race one, right?
I would also maybe like to see the game show again.
The game show would also be pretty funny, but no, I think in general the writers are probably gonna either have all new gags or they will be jokes about FGO content. Like there will probably be some kind of dragon slaying joke, right?
There might be there'll probably be some Rio jokes in there as well.
Yeah, they will probably adapt some of the zingier, less plotty jokes from Learning with Manga, and just skits and jokes everybody can comment on. Lotto boxes, I expect will probably be mentioned. We already basically Like, the opening skit was already basically a wombo combo on, like, Neurofest type events, right?
Mm-hmm.
I expect to see some Lotto. Maybe some gags about the next Santa Claus, right? Because that's always a big deal. You know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I need to. If I remember correctly, we're only getting 2 OVAs. We're not getting actually 2 seasons. So who knows how much they're going to shove in.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I think all the fake content out of the original Phantasm Carnival compresses down to like what, an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's
probably about as much as we'll get out of 2 OVAs. Maybe 2 hours
fine,
if they're like 1 hour each.
I hope so. Yeah, they don't actually say how long they are because
we're still ages out too.
Yeah, OVA, original video animation. They can make them as short as long as they fucking want. Anyway, there you go, Julian God. Thank you very much. We move on to the villain behind glasses. I hope your glasses are opaque. But they say, greetings. Hope this and the next dead week treats you well. The boss battle against Musashi, where you can only win by having Diarma delivering the final blow, was the first true win condition battle on FGO, which I rather enjoyed as something different.
Animal. Masochist. I hate you.
Why? My question is, what do you guys think of win conditions fights being more common in FGO? Must finish battle with XMP or finish battle with X Servant?
I do not like them.
Well,
okay, so as a blanket statement, I won't say that I don't like them. Like, period. But if they're like how that Deer Mode one was, I would prefer not.
I wouldn't mind general.
Yeah, like, you must hit with an NP to kill, otherwise they will guts or something.
Yeah.
That's a lot more workable. I can work with that. That just means I need to make sure that I don't lose all my servants with damaging NPs, right?
Yeah. You know, basic broad, like, win conditions I can understand, because honestly, that's... Well, shoot, we might be working up to something like that anyway, because it just seems like a part of a natural evolution of challenge.
Mm. And or if there's like if there was a plot related buff that like a random servant on your front line gets the God Slayer buff, and you can use that to kill the ultimate enemy, but only they can actually land the finishing blow. Okay, that's fine. Like, you could still... That has some RNG dependency and like depends on the servants you've got available, right, and what their cards are to actually like make that last bit of damage stick.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, just the way that the Musashi one was ported out of just like, you must hit Musashi with a Deermud card to turn it off so he delivers the final blow, otherwise this goes on forever, as just like, that was way too specific and finicky without any warning, and basically was just asking for you to do it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Must kill with a crit's another good one?
Yeah. But, I think, yeah. Like I said,
I wouldn't be shocked if there wasn't already a servant who, like, had such resistance to, like, the boss, I should say, who had such resistance to card types that, like, rather than you must kill with X was, like, you cannot kill this servant with an arts card kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be shocked if that hasn't actually happened already and we just don't remember it because this game's been out for, like, 3 years. But, yeah, those are also interesting. Anyway, Lucky, you were saying, sorry.
Yeah.
So,
thank you very much. We move on to... Alias, free summons and Arknights will be missed. Meh. Dear Lucky and Omega, would you want mats to be summonable in the FP Gacha? See 3x of every mat that's summoned? 3x.
Yeah, like if you pull a mat, you get like 3 of it. Well, first of all, that doesn't sound, just 3 of something doesn't sound super good. Most materials you need in like minimum 4s, I think.
Yeah.
If not like 10s or 20s.
I'd say 2s, but...
So I think this question has like 2 applications, like literal and speculative. Literally, would I want materials to be in the FP Gacha? No, because the FP Gacha is already full of crap.
Yes,
we got CEs, we got servants, we got command codes, we got EXPs, right? Which are all cool, especially because 4-star and 5-star EXPs are in the FP Gacha now. That's neat. Same with command codes. I think I just realized the other day when I was farming those mana prisms, I got like my first ever copy of the command code Bless, the one that gives you like plus 200 HP or whatever.
Hashtag
wild. But like also, hey, I've been, I think since command codes came out at last anniversary, I'm pretty sure I've rolled pretty regularly on FP Gacha and didn't get one till now. I would not want anything else fucking up the rarities anymore. Right? Hypothetically, though, if there was a gacha-style system to pull mats, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, right, if it used FP. I would prefer it if it was more like, instead of spending AP, you could spend FP to do, like, special quests or something, right? Like,
personally, I'm
mechanic.
I'm a personal fan of timers.
yeah, also, like, that's, because even timer-based games like Arknights, where, like, you can produce a lot of materials or refine materials to higher levels, right?
Mm.
In your base on timers. They also still have the normal farming quests, like, if I really need guard chips for some reason, it's almost like I paid $30 so I can get a free chen or something. You can still do those. Like, I would appreciate it, I also agree with you, Lucky, if just, like, there was some kind of timer system and I could just be like, hello, tiny Da Vinci sprite, please use little hammer animation and bang out some dragon fangs or something. Please. It's cute.
Someone just make me a tiny Da Vinci chibi just swinging a hammer. That'd be great. Thanks, y'all.
Bonk.
That
Mash it with a mochi hammer. I imagine that what it would be. It's just you tell Mash to do stuff around base.
Anyway, that is that. And we move on.
Well, technically the chen was free. The permit cost me $30.
I still haven't decided if I want to buy that.
If you got everybody already, it's probably not worth it. But for me, it was just like, fuck, I get a 6-star I want finally. Fuck,
actually,
I'll give Mark some money.
What is even on the list? The thing that's killing me, I don't know who's on the fucking operator list for the ticket. I can't find the information, like, in the fucking game.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's gone already. You missed it.
Oh, I did? Oh, okay. I thought it was to the 20th.
Are you? Yeah, I thought. Didn't Fan Panda say it was to the 20th? Yeah.
Architect, I'm gonna look, and if you're lying to me, I'm gonna hurt you. But I heard, so you basically just repeated something you thought might be correct.
Fact checking. It's important or something. Anyway. Yeah, we were. I think we got everything we want out of that one.
Hang on, Lucky has to go check, like, right now. It's gonna bug him.
Well, yeah, if it was on the official Twitter, that's probably accurate, but I don't know for sure.
I don't know. I think, like, something else ended on the 13th.
I believe the banner and free rolls ended on the 13th. I don't know if the package ended on the 13th.
Yeah. Because I literally just bought Saria's costume today, and I saw it still.
Yeah, and I think the thing for Amiya's costume and all the free stuff goes until the 20th, the anniversary login event.
Let me double check here. Akanaitsu. Everyone take a drink.
Oh, we're already drinking.
The...
Sorry, it's like 9 o'clock at night, guys. And like I said, I've been a little stressed. This is actually, like I said, we're letting the stress out.
Release.
It's a very meta
Release.
Let's Talk FGO. For me, anyway. Lucky's still yelling at the top of his lungs about stuff, but...
I do that. Yeah, it says it right here. Rhode Island Anniversary Time. 12:30 to 1:20. Architect learn to read.
Rip.
I would throw my phone, but I'm afraid to break it. I'd break it.
Do not throw your phone.
Do not throw your phone. Heck. Anyway, back to FGO mood. The knowledge has been acquired.
It's knowledge.
So next one. Oh, Architect, you don't have to apologize. I yelled at you. Next one comes from, hope you got that 5th CE drop. I did not.
Nope. You'll notice it wasn't in my records. No, I did not. Luckily, there's a rerun.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not that cut up. I'm still just gonna smash them together, and then next year, the first one, boom, LMB, then I'll have 3 more. Perfect. But they say, oh, this is interesting. Question, can you guys talk about the work ethic you guys have? How long do you... Oh, shit, it's up to Blaze. I don't have a Blaze. Fuck! How long do you work on one of the videos or ahead of Te? Weekly Let's Talk. Do you write a lot of notes ahead of times, or do you work in between? I don't know, cracking your back installing tables. I install counters and countertops and countertop accessories.
Let's see. No, I think I was definitely doing the show that one time. I had to help install the deck. No, okay, so this is actually an interesting question, like you said.
Yeah.
So, for me, in terms of, like, Wanted, for instance, those I usually like to have those, researched, assets done, and quote-unquote scripted, and shot, like, as decently ahead of time as I can practically do, usually about a week out, so that they can go up to patrons early, just in case FGO decides to shenanigans me. Because that happens, guys. That happens
They
sometimes.
do that. They do
Like,
that.
right now, Lucky is in the middle of the script for his Wanted, but that's not a serious pressing concern because we're pretty sure that this Prisma rerun has to happen first, and we'll go for 2 weeks, so there's like a 2-minute warning.
Mm-hmm.
Equivalent. But yeah, no, like, usually for new Wanted stuff, I try to make sure that it's ready well in advance, and sometimes I let it get away from me, or they do shenanigans me, so I have to, like, work in less time. The actual process of making one is basically just like an afternoon's worth of work. And usually I split it up into 2 smaller loads. Like, if I know I'm gonna do it, I will be like, pre-research and assets first one afternoon, and then actually, like, shooting, editing, etc. the next day. So for the show, though, Let's Talk, That really depends on what our workload is. Like today, when there was no news, literally, I got up in the morning. I was distracted by this anyway because this is what I do a lot. Is I get into work and I forget the other stuff I want to do. While my coffee was heating up, I was like, let me double check the news. Oh, this is nothing. I typed it out in like 5 minutes and got breakfast, and notes were basically done for the rest of the day. Right?
Yeah.
When there's more intense topics like pre-games, big news, stream recaps, StudiOmega Sensei especially, I will, if not take like basically the whole afternoon leading up to the show, like definitely 3 or 4 hours. I may even start the previous day on my notes to actually get them all written out for the show when that gets recorded. I don't usually work on those ahead of time because like I thought at first they were wondering if we like did shows ahead of time, but I think that was just my first like skim read in the notification. Because obviously we can't really write this show like ahead of time because it's news-based.
News.
Right? Like, yes, when they announce on a Monday and they drop on a Wednesday the Learning With Manga event, okay, cool. But most of the time that's not how FGO works. So we have to play a little fast and loose with what we got. And we have absolutely delayed the show because of needing to do some extra notes work and scripting and stuff.
Yeah.
Other content really depends, right?
Well,
like, if you want to talk about my work ethic for like the current series, Yu-Gi-Oh series I'm doing, progression tournament, that takes a lot of work. Because that's like 5 different video segments over several days and like several hours in a recording session and then stitching that all together. But not a lot of people watch those, so you don't know. So, Lucky, you were going to talk about something else?
Yeah, no, I was about to say, I'm a bit more technically and artistically, I guess I want to say heavier. Not never necessarily heavier. But I do a lot of weird shit, especially like in streams and stuff. I make our limited art sets, assets, and emojis. Honestly, this is one of the reasons I'm jealous about Omega. He can actually sit down and knock something out. I can't do that. I have ADD. I literally cannot do that.
That's my secret superpower is if I have to produce a wanted in 24 hours, I will literally sit down and do it, even though I hate myself.
Yeah, no. I will tell you, I am working on this script. I have gotten it to 3.5 pages, and I probably have at least another page and a half planned, if not more. And I have a roadmap. I do. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna record. I'm going to write it. I'm gonna give it a couple editing passes. I'm gonna give it to Mega to give it an editing pass. Then I'm gonna record it in chunks, and then line up all those chunks when they sound good. And if I have time, I might do something funky with the video. I might. I don't know.
And if he runs out of time, he'll ship me the audio, and I'll do our usual assets, I assume.
Yeah. Yes.
Because this is another thing, is because a lot of these things are timely. That's why I said like I like to record wanted way ahead of time, is just redundancy, because you don't want to miss a chance to do a timely video on something if you can help it.
No. And so like I have a plan, but like I said, I keep telling myself every day, okay, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna do this. I get home, I write a paragraph. I then go play fucking 5 hours of Stellaris and have to go to bed. Then I'm like, shit. Next day I'll get up, But then I'm like, oh shit, I have to do a Genshin Impact event. And I really want this fucking floaty thing. I'm gonna go play that for 4 hours, and then I'm gonna get distracted by anime for another 2 hours, somehow write another fucking paragraph in there, and then remember that it's the last day of the Azure Lane event, and I'll be like, fuck! And go play that for 4 hours. So, 1, Lucky gets distracted very easily. 2, he is horrible at time management. 3, he has a lot of ideas, and he wants to usually try and cram them in there. You'll see this a lot in actually our streams. This is when I draw up art assets for our personal avatars. I figured out how to do an in-chat overlay, multiple perspectives on different games and stuff. And I like to knock all this stuff out. Like usually when I want to do an art asset for a thing, I usually knock that out the morning before. I get an idea. I'm like, I'm gonna do it right now, and I have to do it right then and there. Otherwise, guess what? I'll never fucking do it because I'll get distracted and move on to something.
And I work on that with more creative projects. You guys just don't see a lot of those because that's usually with writing or homebrew stuff, which isn't as featured on our channel. Other than when I write Star Wars Adventures in the APs, you don't watch. But I that is definitely like talking about different superpowers. I absolutely have the ability. I'm pretty sure college gave me this one to just be like, no, this project must be done by deadline. However, that also means that unfortunately, through the nature of that learning, I will often take the path of least resistance. Whereas Lucky will absolutely wake up one morning and be like, I want new assets. They must be brand new. And he'll, like, draw up us as, Christmas presents or whatever, or the New Year's one, which was the next week, which was also completely different for What's Up.
Mhm.
And that is not usually how I operate. Like, I will go to myself and be like, fuck it. I want a standby screen for when I'm streaming. So when I go to the bathroom or when I'm setting up video, I have something to, like, hide my shame and let people know that we're not quite ready. So I will just, get a wild hair up my butt and do that project, but I don't necessarily go out of my way to be like, today I will do chat overlay. It'll be like, someday I'll get bored and frustrated enough with myself that I'm just like, fuck it, how do I do this? How I do? But generally it's just like, oh, this thing works? Oh, thank Christ, I don't have to worry about it.
I guess the best way to put it is, Omega is steady and consistent, but, unchanging. I'm wild and free, but very sporadic.
Yeah, that's kind of how our two work ethics mesh.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can bring this together into the show.
Mm-hmm.
Where Lucky will be like, hey, I made some fun assets to throw up, or I'm going to do, a wacky and wild thumbnail, and then I can be like, cool, I wrote 4 pages of research notes.
Like, honestly, yeah, this is actually how a lot of the changes in the show happen. Thumbnails, I'm like, hey, Omega, I'm gonna do thumbnails, and he's like, okay. Like,
yeah,
hey, Omega,
not like doing our old style of thumbnail was like work or anything, because it was literally in fucking MS Paint. But if Lucky's like, hey, I want to do this at a higher res, and I'm like, yeah, you do it, fam. I don't have the ability to rapidly develop skills better than MS Paint. Like, I could probably, I could get a Photoshop copy and I could figure out some weird filters, but it would not be quite the same effect as Lucky has already. So it's when those things happen, I usually am just like, yeah, hey, no, sure. If you got an idea that's higher quality than whatever half-assed bullshit I've just been phoning in for like months because it was the first solution I found, go for it. Go nuts.
Yep. And that's honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why the dynamic works.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's not to say that I don't occasionally get into my own weird passion projects. Like, if people have actually watched those progression tournament videos...
I was about to say, like, no, yeah, you do some wild and free stuff yourself, my dude.
Yeah, no, like, but it's much like how Lucky talked about his thing. Like, I have to get, like, really suddenly inspired, and sometimes that inspiration will just leave me, right? Yeah. Like, I will be in the middle of a homebrew, hip deep, writing fluff, writing rules, and then I'll just be like, yeah, I feel like something else has happened in my life, and I don't care about this as much anymore. I'm going to leave this project alone for 6 to 12 months. It'd be how it be. Creativity's one of those things that's hard to force. Yeah. Like, even in my creative writing class, when my professor was like, you should write a little bit every day, there still was, like, not a stress on, you should always write the same story every day. Like, you should write a little bit every day to try and stretch your muscles, but you can't constantly beat your head against the same project over and over again, because that's how you get what the kids these days are calling burnout. Which is a horrible situation to be in, to just be out of juice for anything. But yeah, I think that, like I said, that was a very insightful question.
Yes.
I'm glad you asked it. People don't often ask about how we do the things we do. And there you go. I hope that answer satisfied you.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lucky will now talk away from Clip, because he might have been working on that thumbnail. But. Thank you very much. We move on to a master on a hot streak after pulling both Tomo and John Alter, worried he used up all his luck for the year. That is mood. I might be having similar thoughts. I mean, yeah, sure, I spent $700, but still.
On a separate occasion, you did not spend $700.
What they say? Hello, Lucky and Omega. Hi. This week, I am passing along a question my brother wanted me to ask you. Why didn't your brother ask? Do you have any famous historical figures you'd like to see appear as servants? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Next question. No,
I mean, honestly, it takes us less time to say yes than to go down the list, because I've got a lot, actually. That may be why one of the reasons why I added the Fan Servant Friday concept.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of these.
Yeah, Omega actually has them written down. I have them in my head, and I think I gave some to Omega. But no, we got big lists. We got big lists.
We'll even be talking about one of them later, so.
Yeah. But I will say, off the top of my head, this is a personal passion of mine. I would like to see John Henry as a servant. I think I have said this basically on every occasion that I've been asked this question. 1, he's black. 2, American folklore hero. 3, he has a big ass fucking hammer and fights a machine. That's cool, yo. Do you have any that you want to shout out immediately, Omega?
Nah, I'm good. Okay. I don't feel any need for shout outs. Like, I've got lists and lists of stuff, people will continue to see my ideas and thoughts.
That's true. That's true. Technically, you're going to answer this question later.
Mm-hmm. And may have already answered it 2 months in a row now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so thank you very much. Tell your brother to watch the show. And we move on to the guy who went a little crazy with his money, but finally got Oi. So that's what it's all about. Omega, who's Oi?
I think it's usually supposed to be an E. It's Hokusai.
Oh.
Is
oh,
it,
Oi.
How did we...
I think it was Oi, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because I believe we've talked about this before. There's a lot of ways you can render her given name in English letters, but yeah, I believe the actual way FGO spells it in English in NA is Oe with an E.
Oh, okay. Anyway, greetings to you, Omega and Lucky. First time in Mailbag and long time viewer, Yokozo. Question: with the Tokyo Olympics being delayed, I was thinking, how would you see a servant's participation in an event similar to the Olympics? For me, I would see them all compete and try to represent their country of origin like IRL. Thanks for letting me share my thoughts with you guys, and I wish you both a good day. I hope you have a good day as well.
Break there, sir. Or madam. Sorry.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure Neurofest, as much as they are fighting each other, I'm pretty sure there's actual athletic competitions as well. Let's see.
Yeah. And a lot of people have been speculating that because of the Olympics, there would have been last year, but I think the fact that we didn't do anything probably means no, because that would be that. Because I think they've talked about this. Servants and events are usually get started being designed about 6 months ahead of time, so they would have already been in the process by the time they had to like shift all their dynamics and stuff. That's why there was kind of that dead week delay, because they had to extend that timeline.
My FGO just froze. How fucking dare!
It happens a little bit with me every now and then. Hopefully, New Phone will fix that when it arrives.
Oh, it's probably because I'm fucking have Arcanines running at the same time.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's definitely one of the things that gets it. But yeah, no. I think like you said, Neurofest type events could easily be that. I mean, that's literally what we see in the Grand Order Carnival skit.
Mm-hmm.
With all kinds of thingies. So yeah, that's something about what we're looking at. I could easily see teams by nationality, but they could also be otherwise dumb.
Honestly, I think it'd be mixing them up would be more entertaining because then you have different dynamics.
Yeah.
But thank you for the question. We'll move on to BB is wholesome. Let me explain this. This is wholesome spelled HOLESOME, as in full of holes. So BB is wholesome and innocent, and Melt is a masochist. Yeah. Someone has thoughts? Anyway, what is the best roles you've had? What is the best roles y'all have had? Let me repeat this again. What is the best roles you'll have had? Let's remove the apostrophe. What is the best roles you will have had?
I mean, it could be you all have had.
I guess that's true.
That y'all, but
yeah,
you can also breathe that you apostrophe LL. You all have had. That's still the tensing in this is very awkward.
Yes.
Do at least use full stops.
Yes. Good punctuation. Bad word choice?
Continue the question, Lucky.
No, I'm thinking about English.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm done. I just got Melt and Lude Saki Oni on the list GSRS.
Okay, guys. All right. Spell check.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure.
I'm also not entirely convinced masochist is spelled correctly.
Oh no, it's a masochist. They spelled it masochist.
Yeah, masochist. Also, that's physically wrong. That's the other one. Lip is the masochist.
Yeah, no, Melt is a sadist.
Please do not go to your local BDSM club with this level of knowledge. You will have a bad time. Anyway, I think my statistically best rolls are I've had two. I believe they were both New Year's GSSRs, which were both double SSRs. Like I got Melt Drake one year, and then I got on the last one I got Bride Dantes. That's me, kids.
I think statistically speaking, my best roll was Lost Belt 3, where I pulled Mothman, Python, and Red Hair back to back to back.
Nice.
Like I'm trying to think about. There's been plenty of times I've done, SR, SSR and SR, like SR, SR, and SR, 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 but I think that one always stands out to me because there was literally back to back to back. One's limited, one's story locked. Actually, no, isn't Red Hair story locked?
Red Hair is also story locked, yes.
Yeah, so one limited and 2 story locks. 1 pool. So
all neatly in a row. Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, I think that's about, since those were all the brand new Raid of Servants, that's about as good as you can do unless you get the double GSSR. And if you, by the way, this is one of those variables that has overflow. If you roll over into 3 GSSRs, you're literally Satan, and I hate you.
Alright, wait, I need to squeeze Mothman's face in the corner here. Yeah! Perfect. Now he's just peeking
Listen,
in.
part of me doing this Yu-Gi-Oh! Draft series is a lot of accusing people of being terrorists for playing certain old cards that are very annoying. And not
I think this is one of the reasons why I can't get into card games like this, because I just know people are like, behold, my perfected and ultimate deck where I have decided to do this one thing. Really, really good.
We haven't had any serious problems yet, but the early sets of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are fun, y'all. Take a drink right now. But, like, there's a lot of... It's like early gen FGO, right? Where, like, some stuff is so absolutely limp dick, you're like, why does this exist? And then other time you're like, this is literally broken. Why would you print this? You fundamentally misunderstood the rules to your own goddamn game. How would you not think that people would find a way to abuse this? Even as an amateur game designer, this is a question I often have to other game designers of like, do you guys design games? Have you never studied game theory? Players, aka humans, are animals. If they can find a solved solution, they will take it. It's the Nash equilibrium. People are dumb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Architect, that's kind of it.
That is how certain levels of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go. Also, yeah, Vesperia references a super annoying card that is in the set we just pulled for. We haven't played yet, but we just drafted it the other day. Called Drop Off, where it's a trap card, where if you activate it, you activate it when your opponent draws their card from their deck for their start of turn, right? Mm-hmm. They immediately discard the card they just drew. So you pull a card off your deck, you look at it, your opponent says, fuck you, throw that in the trash. I hate it. A card for literal terrorists. Anyway, let's keep moving with Mailbag.
We'll keep moving with Mailbag.
You want more of these thoughts, guys, and more of us making jokes about what Pot of Greed does? Watch Progression Tournament, please.
So, thank you for your question. We move on to... Moon is drawing husbandos and waifus enjoying Enmatai Hot Springs as fan service for herself. Now on to drawing funny Benny Ramsey meme arts.
Can I see your memes?
I would like to see your memes. Share your memes. That's what memes are, to be shared.
The DNA of the soul?
Yes. One day we are going to play fucking Metal Gear Solid 2, and we are going to die.
Yeah, no, I think we talked about this on What's Up like last week, but there are a couple of long-running game series I really want us to like get in, like Kingdom Hearts and Metal Gear Solid especially, of just like watching our brains slowly die.
Just endless memes. Literal. Anyway, they say, out of all servants, which voice Valentines are you looking forward to the most? Me, personally, it's Sigurd and Dante's. Also Chiron, because Centaur Dad is best at. Anyways, hope you have had a good week. Ooh.
Well, assuming that I do actually obtain a phone that can physically store all those Valentine's data, I don't know. Actually, it depends on a lot. I got some new ones I want to check out. And oddly enough, there are some that I am not super excited for, though I'm sure Miyuki Sawashiro will have a very funny delivery as Mordred hands me a half-eaten candy bar. That's not really that exciting. Though summer involves the Pocky game, that might actually be interesting.
Oh man, there's so many I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, no, there's a fuck ton of Valentine's and Valentine's scenes, and the beautiful thing about this event is well, I call it beautiful, but you have to do them all over again because they count as brand new scenes. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I may have forgotten about because there's literally a Valentine's or return gift for every single servant now. So it's a lot.
Gonna be busy, but like, as I said, I'm excited for all the Tommos. I'm excited for my Sakura faces. Also, excited for Kirky's Piglet song. It's gonna be great. Oh man, Astolfo's are gonna be great too. Listen, I love Rumi Okubo's delivery on Astolfo. It's great. It's cute. It's best.
I don't actually know about that Vesper. Like, the event should make sure, much like last year's event, it should make sure to give you all the surprise unlock on Chacos. That's actually going to be the fun thing, Lucky, is surprise Chacos are going to come back, and they're going to be the bulk, so we're not even going to know what scenes we're going to get.
That's going to be great. I'm excited.
I'll just have to remember to put my fucking headphones in.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm gonna have new ones too. Yeah. Are you ready for Pison chocolate? I am.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how much this will either be I'm going to fucking kill you, or I tried making chocolate for Lord Zhang and it didn't work here.
Oh my god, return this from Lord Zhang and Mothman. Ah! I'm excited for both of
Actually, I
this.
think because Mothman counts as genderless, it's both, actually, too.
Perfect.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. Have I mentioned I love Mothman? Is he gonna give me Mercury? I bet he's gonna give me Mercury.
At least one of them, I'm pretty sure, is Mercury pills, yes. But at the very least, you get to hear Lelouch offer you Mercury.
Yeah. It kills me every time where I go to his lines. He's like, I like Mercury. What do you hate? Mercury. I'm like, oh my fucking god. He's the best. Or they. The royal we. Anyway. Listen, I'm just excited in general about it. I can't really pick out, like, I'm excited to hear Bunyan and hear about fucking Emiya skating around on a giant skeleton and stuff. Listen, I can go on and on and on. I really could.
Yeah.
Anyway, gonna move on. This next one comes from 418. I'm a teapot.
You're short and stout? Here's your handle.
I feel like I hear this and for some odd reason I thought it was like some fucking radio message. It's like, come in 418, I'm a teapot.
The crow flies at midnight. Actually, wait, no, shit, I should make the joke. The DD crow banishes at midnight. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Anyway,
they say, hello, Luck and Omega, have a good weekend. You too. Remember the why, please.
It's very important. If you leave off the Y, something happens to Lucky. Anyway. Powering through.
Powering on. So, this next one comes from Disciple of Darth Ishtar. Imperial March kind of plays in my head at the moment. Hey, Luxray, Lucky, and Omastar Omega. How are things?
Shrug.
Are those Pokemon? They sound like Pokemon.
Yeah, those are Pokemon.
After a week of looping fun with Spacious Tarncaster, I feel disillusioned by the whole Skadi meta. The conspiracy continues. Someone hit the conspiracy button.
Da-da-da-da. I probably could find the fucking X-Files theme, but it would probably be, like, very loud and janky.
I'll see if I can dig something up. I'll continue. I'll be honest, being strong darns rolling for her wasn't fun. Not getting her after emptying 500 Saint Corns wasn't fun either. The circle trick behind her banner was rather insufferable, and haven't seen anything of the same level for any servant in this game, bar Masa, and that was a meme more or less. I want to know your thoughts about the meta circle jerk that goes on this community, sometimes propagated by a few fair of the content creators, no less. I'm aware you guys tend to distance yourself from the meta gang, as you made it appear in the past, but I'm just curious about your guys' thoughts. As far as I know, Toho Sniper is the only FGO YouTuber who was even remotely critical of the Skadi trap. Sorry for the long-ass exposition. Hope you'll have a good time rolling for Gothic Librarian Waifu. Listen, it's Gothic Librarian Widow MILF Waifu. There's
a lot of... I'm pretty sure Raita made this joke in there somewhere. There's a lot of traits.
There is.
Yeah, so this is interesting, right? Because we have absolutely not just... Like, obviously, Skadi looping, that's cool. It's very time-saving.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But we have absolutely yelled at people for their absolute smooth branity of just Skadi go brr before.
Honestly,
and
I'm gonna say we don't just relate to some of that. We yell about anybody who gets like too on board with a single particular strat.
Because the first version of this meme, right, Lucky, was
the
save
Merlin.
for Jolt or save for Merlin.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that was not as obnoxious as the Skadi thing. I don't really know. I think I talked about this before. How I at times I felt almost blindsided by like how much people bought into Skadi and like smooth branding it, throwing her like all the time, every time. With like the fact that she's a singular Skadi compensates for the fact that she's not an event bonus servant and has no event CEs some of the time. It doesn't. You will not get my friend points.
You won't get me at all.
Yeah, no. Lucky's just full-blown fucking Sparta kicking these guys into a mass grave. Like, somebody give me that edit. Put Tyrion Rabbit over King Leonidas as he Sparta kicks somebody with support Skadi into the hole. Like, that's what's happening. That is one of those things where I don't feel like I'm not quite at a level of frustration, but have been very close sometimes to just being like, okay, I'm just gonna yeet everybody. But no, there were actually some people who, like, there was a little bit of pushback when we released Wanted Skadi, our most popular Wanted video ever, and one of our most popular videos, fucking period. Let's make no bones. Like, I don't want to say that we have not profited over people's rampant Skadi conspiracy. But people in the comments did comment that there was some concern with the fact that to do Skadi correctly, you do need to give her a lot of skill levels, which are very expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of effort you need to do Skadi looping, and even then, you need servants with decent NP levels and other skills and stuff. Like, people talk about how this is like, the meta is solved. We found the ultimate solution, talking about that thing I've mentioned before, right? Where if people find the quote-unquote solved version of a game, they will immediately run down that path without any extra questions and, minimum effort.
I've got a word.
But, like, yeah, there's definitely some, like, need for setup, right?
Yeah.
And that's not actually newbie-friendly. But everybody just doesn't want to talk about the negatives. They want to get all in on quick is cool, quick is the new meta. This is, I will say this is just how people are. Like, for a long time on this channel, I have covered a wide variety of games, right?
Yes.
I got started doing YouTube videos on my channel for the first edition of the X-Wing miniatures game. I kind of pivoted away from that because of this constant meta yakking. Do content for Star Wars Legion still, for now, temporarily, on our channel, where there's got the same thing, where, like, people were, in that game, for instance, people were upset that everybody was bringing, the metagame once was, Shore Troopers mortars, Shore Troopers from Rogue One and that one episode of Mandalorian, and also they got special mortar units in Legion, which was a unique thing, but people were bringing them because the way the rules were at the time and the points values, right, that was the meta pick army. It was really, really good with certain rules and special powers and upgrades. Even though some people were complaining, they were like, every board, I see all these Shore Troopers, where's my, Stormtroopers and Rebel Troopers kind of a thing, right? They were complaining about the aesthetics of the game not being focused on the mechanics. It's the same for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, some people have some real ass backwards opinions about what is and what isn't meta and, like, what you can play, and then pushing that to extremes. So, I don't want to say FGO is unique in that aspect. We, as this person said, we definitely distance ourselves from the quote-unquote meta gang. Like,
yeah.
Will we tell you that Skadi is really good if you have the resources to invest in her? Yes. Right? She does stuff, and she does that stuff very well. Like, obviously, it's worked for a lot of people for 2 years. Will I also point out to you, because I have clairvoyance, that lots of people have immediately discarded Skadi to do Castoria loops, because Castoria has also huge batteries, which really seems to be the main thing here. Big battery and amps a particular card type to do overkill bug damage. Like, the reason why you can't do that with Buster is just because Buster doesn't inherently have any NP gain, basically. Otherwise, I'm sure the bug would work for them, too. But, like, have I noticed that people have started to immediately distance themselves from Skadi to go all in on the new Castoria hotness? Yes, I have. I am not an idiot. I pay attention to these kind of things, right? Will we be yelling at you for 2 years that you must save for Castor Artoria? No. I mean, you should anyway, because she's cool and adorable, and I love her. But, also, we love arts, and I still don't have a fucking regular Tamamo, so I want something. Anyway, we also, as we've said before, have fought back against this idea that just because Castoria is out, Tamamo is over. Like, Tamamo is fucking canceled. No, that's a lie. Those people are wrong. So, like, there's a lot that can be done with support units. Fuck, somebody just mentioned using Double Merlin, right? I have also still used Double Merlin for some quests if I can, right? Like, sometimes big singular damage output and all that health regen that Merlin does is really useful, right? Like, right. You can, and fucking AoE invuls as well, on a skill, not an NP. Like, you can make that work really well, right?
Robin,
so,
literally, you say one more shitty thing like that, I'm just gonna yeet you.
No, he's saying that because he still doesn't have a Tamamo, much like me.
Oh, okay,
He's claiming Tamamo is fake because she doesn't exist, which I feel that energy.
Okay, never mind. I will not eat you then.
Because there are some people who do not have Tamamo perfect.
Lucky does not always get humor. No, he does not. I will admit this.
And we're in a weird place right now with this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like, and I'll admit we weren't necessarily super critical when it came out, but that's because, like I said, I didn't realize how big this would be in the community forever. that I can't go on my own fucking Discord without people at least jokingly talking shit about, not doing Skadi meta or whatever. I feel like when Castor Artoria is about to come out, I will probably be more cautious to people, right? About, like, hey, don't freak out if you don't get her. But also, I will be probably going a little more ham on that one than I did for Skadi myself, so I don't know. Personal biases and things.
Like I said, I may go on about this, but I can talk a little bit personally. I usually distance a meta because a meta is usually something that a whole bunch of people came together, went through a whole bunch of things, and said, yes, this is the best thing. And then they disseminate this information to everybody, and then everyone just smooth brains from there. I don't like that. I don't like having a problem solved for me. I really don't. I like to fumble around with what I have, do what I can, enjoy setbacks, overcome hurdles, and have that sense of accomplishment that I solved it with my own brain. I said, this is one of those personal things. This is why you actually see Lucky get very spicy and snippy at people who come in and say, hey, Lucky, have you done this? Did you do this? Did you try this? I get very upset. Like, fuck, Lucky had to shut up for quite a while because when we were, in Omega stream, when Omega said, people can talk, people started talking. Guess what? All they wanted to talk about was Oxygen not included strategies and efficient ways to do things. I'm just like,
now, to be fair, several of those people were like, hey, they asked me, do you want me to just talk about this? And I'm like, yeah, no, sure, whatever. Like, I was chill about it. But yeah. I know. That was I think I even make that joke on about it because you've got the two Luckies. You've got the, blah, don't look at me, Lucky, and the, please listen to me, Lucky.
Yes.
That was very much, blah, don't look at me, Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny vampire Lucky, that's why I say blah. He throws the cloak in front of his face. Do not look at me.
That's an email later.
By the way, this is what we call in statistics and stuff outliers. Lucky is literally why we've got those tails on bell curves that you're supposed to ignore for statistics because they don't make sense. But in the real world, those people who give outlier statistical responses still exist. So, like, that's the thing, right? Like, just because the meta has a solved strategy doesn't mean that it has to work for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that it has to work for everyone. So that's just part of our general tact package we offer here at StudiOmega. Just consider other people's viewpoints as valid. They're humans. They exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so long as nobody is like holding a gun to your head saying you must use Skadi or die, or the reverse, I would rather die than use Skadi, which is also just crazy talk. Like, fuck, I'd use Skadi if I had her. I'd probably be bad at it because she'd be like 444 or something.
Listen, guys. I love my Skadi. My Skadi, is she 10-10-10 right now? She's 9-9-9. I've invested in her. But, again, the main reason why I don't like Skadi loops is because everyone's like, you must Skadi loop. I'm like, no, I'm not. And
to be fair, you've got a great unit for it. You've got a very high-level time of a cat, right?
Yes.
Like, you can probably do some dumb stuff, and probably do occasionally, but it's not like an autopilot cruise control thing. This goes very much back to our work ethic question, right? Like, I'm not opposed to finding something that works repeatedly and going for it. On the other hand, I will say this, just because I also like to do things an easy way, I do things easy way on my turn. Well, okay, Axe, this is a subtlety thing. Sometimes people say you must without saying you must. This is the tact package. You can absolutely imply that some people should be doing something, or like saying, oh, hey, you gotta try this, right?
Axe, when I'm going through the caster support list looking for anything not besides a fucking Skadi, I'm pretty sure people are telling me I must use a Skadi.
That's also fair. That's not like them literally saying you must use Skadi, but they're basically functionally saying you must use Skadi because she's the only thing available. But yeah, no, what I was saying was that just because I like a route that I know and understand, that's not necessarily a meta route either. Like, I've absolutely done stuff that is dumber or technically, like, not as efficient as other people just because I know that I can do an action by rote. I will do it easier than, like, fuck around with something just because other people say it's good. Because everybody has their own workflow. FGO is no different. It's a game. It's got its own processes. Some people have quote-unquote solved the game. But, like, here's a weird thing, right? Like, we're talking about this conversation. This person brought this up because they've been having fun doing a fun build with, I'm going to assume, because of the way they did their alias, with units they like better than Skadi, right? And they are doing a similar strategy of doing some fun stuff. I also want to say this. Hey, if you really like Skadi loops, if you're invested in Skadi, you like Quick. Like, there were a lot of people who really wanted Quick to pop, right?
Yeah. Like, I think, if you like Skadi loops, sure, go for it. Have fun. I will not deprive you of your fun. Just don't shove it in my fucking face.
Right. It's like I want to say here is that the presence of Castor Artoria and really fun, cool art loops does not invalidate any of the work you have done on Skadi unless you think it does. That's a personal decision you must make, right? Where you feel like this person did, where they feel like they got a little conned in by groupthink and where like everybody was just in on the Skadi. So everybody, I don't want to say like, you gotta have your own opinions, man, because that's an opinion from me, so that's kind of contradictory, but like, always make sure to evaluate your own feelings wherever possible. Self-examination is really good, and think about why you want to do stuff. And don't go full smooth brand just because, don't let other people smooth the wrinkles out in your brain. If you want to do the easy peasy strats, go for it, right? Oh, yeah, no, like Axe, I'm saying like that, right? Like, you like to use Melt, she goes very well with Skadi, and, using Lancelot. Like, technically, I use a Lancelot as well, but my 3-turn farming setup for Embers just uses Waver. Like, I don't even need a special. I don't need some special limited lady for this, permanent waivers only. But yeah, no, like, everybody has their personal preference and playstyle. There are still some people, lucky, who like to just go red card Unga Bunga.
I mean, sometimes, like, depending on my mood, like I said, I'm an arts main, but sometimes I'm just like, red cards make me feel good, y'all. Big numbers.
Yeah, and there are certainly quests that rewarded it. That's how I beat that one challenge match in the Christmas event, where it was just like, wait, I'm dumb. Doesn't Summer Martha have like plus 100% damage and three Buster cards? What if what if I just punched everybody and it worked?
My Summer Martha got a lot of love. I'm like, no, you're the champ, Martha. True winner here. But yeah, so all in all, no, meta necessarily isn't a bad thing until it gets to the point where it's either you're not thinking about the choices you're making yourself, or you're trying to force those choices onto other people, I think.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the thing we talked about with the quote-unquote moral of the Learning With Manga thing, right? Like, the moment you try to force other people into your way of thinking, that's the moment you are in the wrong. Yeah. And that doesn't matter about anything. Like, and again, I want to say, so we don't sound hypocritical at any point, you don't have to believe us on that, right?
No.
Like, we're not forcing you. No, we're not telling you must conform to our opinions or to get the fuck out of my podcast. But, like, that's our opinion. We'll let you know. And we also will not appreciate and will ignore you if you try to force your opinion on us. Ignoring you, by the way, is the best response. We may also just physically powerbomb you into orbit, too. Like, if you bother us too much. We're not real keen on that stuff.
No.
It's the children who are wrong. Yes. No. That's the wrong way to go about it. There's a reason why that's a meme. Okay. Where even are we in here? Hold on, let me load some more. I was very low in the list, but okay.
Oh no,
so
it looks like oh god, we're only halfway through. Shit.
Yeah, you gotta scroll down.
Damn it.
Yeah, but we are about halfway. The audio is about 140, but we're getting good questions. I like these discussions. This is why. Hey, speaking of like Lucky randomly deciding to invent things, this is why we invented Mailbag and why I think it works so well. Sometimes people just ask us interesting questions.
Oh yeah, this was another one of my like, hey, let's do a thing. I like Japanese radio shows.
Yeah, it was literally you watched a lot of Japanese radio shows and were like, I love mail, and I was just like, yeah, sure, do it, whatever, I'll take it. We were at the time also considering about doing more like fan feedback stuff, so it was a very easy transition to just be like, I want to do mail. You were like, I want to do Mailbag, and I'm like, sounds neat, let's try it. Then we had to come up with the ground rules, but doing it for like 6 months maybe? Like I think we started this around our 3rd anniversary for us. I feel like we've settled into the usual, and if you break the rules, we laugh at you.
Even if you don't break the rules, we might laugh at you.
Well, if you break the rules of the English language, we have to do something, because, listen, our brains are programmed in English, which is a very shitty programming language, but that's how our brains
really
work. So if you fuck it up, like, you're hurting me deep inside.
All right. So, this next one comes from Just FGO Thoughts.
AKA the last hour or so, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, question. Have you ever checked out Camelot Zero? I was curious which knights have canonically been summoned before I stumbled across it. How low are the chances we might see them referenced in one of the Camelot movies?
Okay, so 2 parts to this question. First of all, talking about the lists of knights which have been canonically summoned, I do believe, I'd have to double check, but I do believe there is literally a line in the English Singularity script where Bedivere goes down the list and lists literally all of them. Or it might be Gawain. I don't know. This was very big news to me because I was also looking for this list, right?
Yes.
Now about Camelot Zero, which if people don't know, this was basically like I think the format was like a blog entry. Like, it wasn't quite a web novel, but it was like a short web piece of fiction that Nasu posted, basically revealing what the lead up to the Camelot Singularity was, which does list out what servants were summoned, which knights went with the Lion King, and which knights were like, nah, brah. It did reveal that Gareth had been summoned in the Singularity, but she died while they were fighting Shadow Richard the Lionheart, probably because this is a discussion we had earlier today that I don't know if Lucky noticed at all, but there's the constant back and forth about how much Narita, who writes Fate Strange Fake, is okay with things appearing in FGO, which the usual consensus is not a lot. It's just the question of what kind of emotion he has about it. I've heard a lot of people say he's mad about it, but I've also heard people say, no, he's not mad, he's just, like, a little spooked. But this basically, like, they established kind of the setup. I assume the Shadow Richard the Lionheart was, like, part of Gage's original plan or whatever. But it kind of explained the setup and stuff. I haven't actually checked it out myself because it's a frickin' Nasu web post where I'd have to, like, dig up somebody's translation or something. I'd love if they did an official transliteration somewhere, but I don't think they have. Dear FGONA, you have a fucking website. You could easily translate this. Please do so. As for my personal thoughts, will we see it referenced in one of the movies? If it hasn't already been, possibly? They do, like, reference the events, like, they name-check the events a couple of times in the Singularity text, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was some dialogue, maybe some flashbacks. Luxor?
I wouldn't be surprised if they have a scene or two maybe talking about it, but maybe a small flashback, but I'm not expecting a lot of it. Like I said, they're already having to change some things up to adapt the movie, literally cutting characters and scenes and adding bath ones. I don't know. I still don't understand it. I'm not going to say no to a fucking MASH and Nita Chris bath scene, but still, I'm just like, why though? I have questions, concerns. I must examine the scene for science.
Pacing.
But so I don't honestly, I don't think as a whole Camelot Zero will be referenced in the movie, but there will be definitely a mention of probably the previous nights and what happened to them. That's what I think. And we gonna move on. This next one comes from Zed, just Zed, who says, comment, New Year's story cleared. It was actually a lot shorter than I thought it was. I forgot it was only 13 main mission stories. I said that backwards. Whatever, it works. On a different note, I have discovered I am out of cancer assistant materials in JP and need to grind more of them.
It happens.
That is my eternal life. I just pulled a Da Vinci, y'all. I'm fucking dead. I still have to work on Caster Shootin. I still have to, who else was I working on?
Hey,
Caster
guess who's also a caster?
Oh god, and then I have Marissa saying, no! I'm drowning.
Hey, guess who also is a caster? It's me. Me is a caster. Caster Hell.
Caster Hell.
Luckily, Kama is an assassin. However,
Okay.
King Prody is an alter ego, so she'll probably steal some caster bits too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was also, Seton, I also sucked up a fuck ton of them.
Alter egos?
Oh yeah, and I'm just getting mad thinking about it. Alright, question. So I'm looking at the limited 4-star list and how these things get less rate-ups than limited 5-stars, and I'm wondering if the game had an event where you can do a challenge quest rates to obtain points to trade for tickets to obtain limited 4-star servants from an event shop, if you want to include weapon servants, but I'm sure you wouldn't, with a limit of 5 tickets per event run, which limited 4-star servants would you focus on getting and who would you go for a full MP5 on a single limited 4-star you don't have or may not have at MP5 or MP levels on a few that you want? Oh, there has been literally no fucking periods.
Yes, no, the sentence doesn't stop. I think I'm losing my will to live.
Have MP5 or MP levels on a few you want, a few MP levels or on 5 for different 4-stars than you get at MP1 for servant dex completion.
Holy run on sentence, Batman.
Jesus! Actually, okay, hang on.
We get it. You're excited. Lucky's going to do some math right now, but we get it. You're very excited. You came up with a novel idea. It's super cool. Breathe. Okay, calm down.
Okay,
Relax.
okay. So
Take
this is what I see. In here we have colon, comma, open parentheses, apostrophe, close parentheses, comma, apostrophe, question mark. From the beginning of the word question to completion, that was all the punctuation used. Commas, apostrophes, and one set of parentheses.
You can stop your sentence. It's okay, guys.
Yeah.
So in here, there is a technical point, right?
Yes.
There are a decent number of limited 4-stars. Usually on Summer, obviously, is the big one, but also there are a few. They show up occasionally in collab events and in similar things like Guda Gudas. Calamity Jane is another one on Saber Wars 2, right?
Architect has my vote. He says Fujinon, who I think still has never had a fucking rate up right now.
Yeah, no. Like, I don't think we need to bog ourselves down with their whole big, long rigmarole system, but, no, like, absolutely, hey, guess what? I have terrible luck with Summers, not named Summer 3, so, I would love a Fran Saber or a Nidacris Assassin or something. I currently don't have a Passion Lip, and I could use more NP levels in my Mordred Rider, but I don't want to get too greedy. I don't have any extra NP levels in my regular Mordred either. Let's not get too sassy. Definitely, I think the collab type ones, like Fujino, like Miyu, for instance, also I'm not sure has ever had like another raid up. If she did, it's been very limited. Like, dig her up. I'm actually.
I can't recall one. I literally cannot.
Hold on, campaigns. Let me check. She was in some sort of rotation in the 5th anniversary sometime, somewhere in there. Great look. So, like obviously Calamity Jane's just been in a rerun. I'm gonna assume that Kyokoyo, who is also another limited 4-star, will be when they eventually rerun that collab. Oh, and she was technically in the Lucky Bag. That's good. Okay, so I guess they must have added some of the limited 4-stars to the Lucky Bag equation. That's good. But still, like, those are the more rare ones that I would definitely shoot for at least one copy of. And I would not need to shoot for one copy of anybody in the Summer 3 lineup because I do actually have all of those. Funny how that one worked out. I have 3 Summer Ushis.
Actually, I feel like they should just do a fucking collab banner at some point. It's just like, yeah.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, there's a lot of servants who get left behind in the collab space. Collabs and Gudas and stuff.
I guess
some fun stuff.
I guess that's that's our quote unquote seasonal events. It's summer, Christmas, and then we have a Guda Guda and a collab.
Golden Week, Guda Guda, summer, Christmas. Like Valentine's is seasonal. But they usually
we should just get an SSR, and they've been
Valentine's
alright.
just does one SSR and then does an all ladies raid up. White Day usually does now like just the all males raid up, maybe with a singular banner for a returning. It's like even on for like a new SSR of some type or a returning SSR. Like I think we're like 1-to-1 ratio on that, right?
Yeah,
because there was the first time they actually did a White Day event. There was Arthur, but then there was a rerun of Arthur next year, and then this year we're going to get Moriarty's event. Not that I'm mad about Moriarty raid-ups. I'll fight anyone who's mad about it.
No.
But then next year, Odysseus, so, like, who is permanent but new. So, like, White Day's another one of those where that's technically a seasonal event based on a real-life event, but also it's not the same every time.
Yeah. But, like, as you said, is there a concept for, like, a whole event? I don't know.
So the ticket, I think, actually, honestly, they said maybe not welfares. I do actually think like a ticket exchange system for welfares, or a way to get more rare prisms to turn into welfares, is honestly better than some of the limited stuff. Like, limited 4-stars, well, the 4-star rate up is fucky. Like, you could easily just run them on more banners, please, and that will be fine, right?
Yes.
But welfares are like, you literally can't roll those unless you count, Saber Lily, which is also probably like, that may be an exclusively Saber Lily prospect, unless they really decide that Caster Liz is so useless that she can go at the free-to-play gacha. R.I.P.
God, Liz, I love you, but God, that pumpkin dress does not look good on you.
So, like, yeah, no. So, there are ancient welfares who you just can't get anymore, and that people would like a chance to.
Well, shoot, like, heck, people can't get fucking Nobu.
Yeah, no, which is kind of weird, considering she comes up all the time.
Yeah.
All these constant Guda Guda references, you know? Oh, yeah, no. People are talking about, like, Cast Liz, Santa, Saber Altar. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no. And that's another one, by the way, that's, like, other than the fact that she's a writer AoE with a free NP5 who does fucking nothing, basically. Like, there should be definitely, I would prioritize back support for welfares more than limiteds, because you can usually still pull these limiteds in, like, some weird raid-ups or lucky bags and shit, right? They're not on raid-up, but I'm pretty sure all limited servants that are female exist in the Valentine's pool, right? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I don't think it's just SSRs.
You only pull food. Only women.
So, like, there's a lot of support for the limiteds already. I think we need more support for welfares. Anyway, let's keep going.
More support for Bong. By the way,
Bong needs no support.
By the way, tangent. I've had 2 memes stuck in my head, and they go fucking hilarious together. And people have been giving me funny at works. So the 2 memes that have been stuck in my head recently have been "Return to Monkey" and "Rotate Banana." Just say them in the same voice. Just put them together. I died. I was dying. Banana, rotate, return to monkey. It's good. It's good shit. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep going.
Rotate banana.
De banana. It spins. It spins.
Oh god, there's after images on these bananas. Ooh.
Oh god.
No stare. You'll lose it.
Omega, you need to put an epilepsy warning on that shit.
Feel the spin. Okay. Alright, I will remove the GIF before it breaks our brains. Stare at super fast Poke instead.
Well, now I have to post something, so hang the fuck on. If we're going that route.
The speed levels of this Poke is actually hurting my eyes. Local clown fox too fast to see. Yours is much faster than Lot's.
Yeah.
Lot's got that fucking dial-up version of that GIF. Rip.
Mm-hmm. This is what you have to fave. Fave the one I have. It's the perfect one.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, mine's not favorited. I don't know if I need it though. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm gonna stare at the inside of my hand for a second and let my eyes reset.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep going. So thank you, Zed. We're gonna move on to the Eternal Storm. Who says? Question. I was wondering if you played Persona 5. Excuse me.
Have you watched our content ever? To be fair, we've been doing this a while, but anyway.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was offended there. As I look over and I see my steelbook versions of Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. How dare. Anyway. Question. I was wondering if you need to play Persona 5. If so, do you see any similarities between the events of the game and a Holy Grail War? And particularly to the final piece and the last boss of Vanilla. Anyway.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they had a conclusion there. Sorry about that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but yeah, like... So the Holy Grail is a public domain artifact. Nobody has the rights to that anymore. It's pretty common, and the Japanese especially just... I think it's like a translation thing through like the Portuguese or something. The Japanese definitely have this as a pop cultural thing, and I don't think it's exclusive to Fate, where the Holy Grail is also especially associated with, you know, like, whatchamacallit, omniscient wish granting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's definitely a yes, but actually no situation.
Like, if I remember, in Persona, the Grail was kind of doing the opposite. Instead of everyone, what's the best way to put this?
Yeah, I mean, Vanilla's been out long enough. The Holy Grail that appears in the bottom of Mementos is everybody's subconscious desire to be saved by some magical deus ex machina, basically. Because Persona is all about Jungian psychology and that collective unconsciousness, dog.
It's great.
So, yeah, no. The Holy Grail, as we see in Fate, is not a literal Holy Grail either, but is a deliberate construct where mages have decided to create a machine in order to grant a single person's wish rather than everybody's wish together, is I think kind of what Lucky was going for there.
Yes.
So, yeah. They're similar concepts, but also it's just a lot of the same mythology thing. It's like why you see lots of stuff together. And also on that question of have either of you played Persona 5? If you listen closely, Internet, you can hear in my hands right now my cases of, because they're in my entertainment cases right next to my computer desk, the cases of Persona 5, Dancing in Starlight, and Persona 5 Royal, all together in my hand. Jinglies. I'm gonna go put them back on my shelf.
Man, I really need to
I hope that answers your fucking question.
I really need to find me a copy of Persona 3 and 4 with the original soundtracks in them. How dare. That's something they used to do. Back in PS2, when you bought your copy of Persona 3 and Persona 4, it was 2 discs. One was the game and one was the fucking OST. Ah, man. That's something we need to do one day, is you need to sit down with me and I need to play Persona 4. We could do that, technically, because it's on Steam.
We could. It's on Steam. We could Steam share. Yeah, so that's another series that would be really good to go through. And hopefully Atlas wouldn't be dickheads to us because they're ancient. I don't know. Poor Calliope Mori still can't stream Persona 3, but that's because she's in Japan and has to, like, reach business arrangements between Japanese companies.
Oh, yeah, well, honestly, the only thing about Hololive is technically a business, so...
Well, yeah, no, but also that they're out of Cover Corp, which is, like, incorporated in Japan, which has different rules. It's not, like, Universal Court of YouTube. Anyway. We will continue.
Anyway, Konikaku. We move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Jalter's new Grail Simp. Long-time viewer, first-time simping. Oh no. The lady, Jalter, saved the world, and in the summon contract, I, the master, became eternal her simp. Question, what is the attractor factor, and who has it? Well, I guess the simplest way to say this is the dragon factor is, you're a dragon. You have a dragon core inside you. It's very dragony. Gives you lots of power. It's cool.
Yeah, so I think the short run around here is that you should check out the StudiOmega Sensei we did several months ago now about phantasmal species, where we did diverge to actually talk a little bit about dragons.
Mhm.
But basically, the short version is that
Dragons are cool.
well, yeah, dragons are cool, obviously, but also dragons as phantasmal species in Nasuverse just have one of their many passive qualities that they just have is that they generate excess magical energy just by breathing, basically. Right? Like, just by existing, they generate extra magical energy. So, humans who have the blood of dragons have that dragon factor and have additional super great magical energy. Like King Arthur, etc. So, characters who actually have quote-unquote dragon lineage is just Artoria, Mordred, and Liz. Like, they actually have the quote-unquote blood of the dragon. But other characters can be more dragony. Like Vishra, literally a dragon.
Wait, is Siegfried have a dragon factor?
Yes.
Okay.
Siegfried and Sigurd both do because of how they consumed parts of the dragon Fafnir, right? Like, they imbued themselves with the dragon's power.
Yes.
Which they have, you can see this through some of their special traits, which give them extra damages and stuff. But Vishra and Ibuki Doji are just dragons, or dragon children, hence why they have the new Dragon Kin passive. Basically, if you've got a Buster buff, whether it's a passive or an intrinsic, you're probably a dragon. That's how it works, it seems.
Yeah.
And they did at least say that...
the Yellow King has a dragon factor, too.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say, there was that one guy, the guy who came after Qin Shi Huang. He founded the next, the next dynasty, right? Like, he had the dragon factor. They talked about that. So, that's interesting. And I also I believe technically, because Melt is part Leviathan, she also counts as a dragon, but that's similar to how, like, Vishra and Ibuki are just dragons, right? Because there's a bit of Melt which is a dragon.
Rawr.
Yeah, I think that's all I got from like just basically characters who gain dragon-like traits or are descended from dragons. I mean, there's definitely some amount of thought there, but there is also because Fate is such a Westabu franchise. Like, remember how in the original Fate Stay Night you literally can't summon Eastern heroes, only European heroes. There's also a certain amount of just basically D&D fanboyism in it, so I don't know if that's 100% why. But there's definitely some like differences in how different cultures attribute dragons. But yeah, that's my short list. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Alright, we're gonna move on to the next one. Thank you very much. This next one comes from the shameless Shisha Fate-natic, who is eager for updated Valentine's Day cutscenes. Zoomy Bo. But they say, hey, Lucky Mega, even with not much going on in NA, doesn't hurt to wish you two and everyone else in blessed rolls and drops. Take care, fellow masters. Live, laugh, and repeat. Thank you for your very positive message, my dude, and I hope the same to you.
Double thumbs up.
So thank you, and we move on to Moonsail Master in SQ. Saving Modo. It actually said mode, but I like saying Modo. I'm a weeb. I admit this. Anyway, they say, Dear Lucky Mega, one or both who may be in the middle of a training arc. Let me just put some Desire on. Rocky music is great for this shit. Anyway.
Let me get some electric guitars.
Simple question. Simple question this week. How do you pick what servants to level or raise skills win? Just a fleeting thought, or do you think that planned out? Oh, wait, there's a read more here. Until we meet during the Prism rerun, ciao. Listen, you assume Lucky has a plan. He does not.
No, it says fleeting thought. I think we both usually subscribe to that. Like, obviously, there will be situations where, like if I do any servant leveling during this week, right, and not just wait for the new event to have EXPs, it'll probably be Dante's Her Bride, because those are brand new SSRs, which, yes, I will admit, they're not leveled yet, but that's because I had to cram EXPs into Fion, and one event is not enough EXPs to raise 2 SSRs. That's not how it works, guys.
No.
But yeah, like, usually it's like if there's immediately an event coming up, I will try and fish for bonus servants. If I get a brand new servant, I'll try and work on them. But otherwise, there's a lot of just like, okay, who haven't I leveled right now? Who needs some extra levels? I'll give him this. Or I'm like, I never use this guy. He doesn't need those extra 10 levels. Skills is a lot more finicky because I am very usually out of skill gems of one level or another. So that's usually either I have a shitload of skill gems and I'm like, shit, I can level up archer skills. I'm going to level your skills and your skills and your skills. And then I'll be like, fuck, I'm out of archer gems. Or there's like a concerted effort to concentrate my skill leveling into one particular servant because I'm like, man, I really wish I could get my Mordred to 10-10-10. And then I'm like, it shall be done.
Robin, you say that, but again, this goes back to Lucky's worth. I get a wild hair at my ass about something, and I go 120%, and I regret it later.
Head empty, no thoughts, only burr.
Only burr. But, for mine, usually it's whatever, like, I'm trying to get to this point, like, believe it or not, there's a method to my madness, excuse me. I want to have all my primary servants up to 10-10-10. All my secondary use servants, ones that I will usually switch in for situational things at 6-6-6. And then have all my rest of my servants, all of them at 4-4-4. The thing is that takes a fuck ton of resources. And if you all know Lucky, he's not good at collecting resources. He's really bad at it. Like, really bad at it. So my progress is usually slow going. So usually I focus on my primary servants. I usually try to get them up further and further. And then I fall back down to my secondaries. Try and get them up to 6, and then I go down to my tertiaries. As for the exact order of this, I don't fucking know. I'll literally scroll through my list. Hey, look, I have QP. I should totally spend it all in like 3 skills. And that's what I usually look, because Lucky is not diagnosed OCD. I will clarify this. I'm not diagnosed OCD, but I do have some OCD-like tendencies, and the fact is, like, it bugs me. It eternally fucking bugs me when I do not see my skill levels or even. It's like, that's... even if the skill is not something I'm going to use a lot, I still want it at the same level of everything else. That's why my Vlad and Seatonai are eternally killing me right now, because my Vlad is, I think, 10-10-1, and my Seatonai is like 9-6-1 or something like that. I'm just like, and so I've been trying to slowly fix that. But other than that, no, I have I am no thoughts, mind empty. So we're going to move on. Thank you very much for this. This next one comes from You're Good, but Not Good Enough, who says, hey, y'all. Just wanted to see if I can get an answer. So if you listen to Benny's voice line, she says that she feels this kinship with nursery rhyme, and that confuses me. Do either of you know what's going on? And remember, King Protea approaches. It might be because Benny Enma is not quite, is almost an amalgamation of a bunch of Japanese folktales. Almost.
Yeah, she's like technically she's all one character, but she is still a character from like 3 different folktales. I mean, I don't have a Benny Enma, so I can't cross-reference those voice lines. Thank you for reminding me.
But no, like... the fact that, the sparrow, the helpful creature, and she runs a house that, usually traps travelers, which is also a big theme. You can say that Benny Enma is, and also, she has history with actually, Buddhist hell. That means she's involved in a lot of, Japanese folklore. Not quite, she's not an amalgamation of spirits like nursery rhymes is, but this is probably why she only says she feels a bit of kinship.
Yeah. Because, the theme that's very common in, or very apparent, I should say, in Enmatai and the Spirit Sparrow Inn event, a Spirit Sparrow Inn, is that, like, they do definitely double down that, like, this is a location from myths and fairy tales. So that is probably why there's a little bit of kinship. That, or there's some kind of weird meta reference I don't get, because it was, like, buried in CCC or something crazy.
I don't fucking know. Also, they're cute and small. That's all I need to know. Now,
I did want to double check, but no, they do not have the same actors.
I will now aggressively drink this water.
Water.
Yeah, hydrate! Hang on. I will slam that lid closed. Slam it on my desk. Oh, that came across.
Very resonant, yes.
Cool. Anyway, so thank you very much. We're going to move on. This next one comes from... I want to say this. I don't usually say this, but... in all caps, alias. It's like alias, except with a U.
I love how there's a fucking pronunciation guide, but this person, they know who they are.
Yeah.
Their inability to spell correctly has still got them.
Anyway, so alias, I am Luxacius. They say, who would win in an eating contest between all the Artorias? I would say Lancer Artoria Alter.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the Lancers because they've got more storage space, or possibly MHXX because she doesn't have enough money and is already pre-starving.
Yeah, no, and it's been confirmed that the Alters just consume more food for some odd reason.
Being edgy means you use more calories.
I guess.
You need more calories to hold on your edges.
So yes, that's mine. So by a process of elimination, I say Lancer Artoria Alter. When are we going to get an Alter?
MHXX Alter when? Dark Office Lady.
Oh man, we gotta get some. You gotta get some Imperial Nebula themes on that. Ooh, that'd be good. Ooh,
I bonked again. Sorry guys, I bumped my mic stand while folding my arm over to scratch my shoulder.
Anyway, thank you very much for that, Luxacius. This next one comes from a man who now has all available Talamos. Welcome to the club. High five. They say, hey, Lucky Omega, hope you are well and keeping safe. My question of this week, what is your favorite event format? For example, do you prefer the Lotto compared to points reward systems like we got for Benny's event? Thank you and have a great day.
For me, missions. Mission format's usually pretty good. Like, that is, while that usually takes a guide to do more efficiently, because otherwise you end up, like, bungling through, like, where the fuck was that apartment with spooky ghost girls again? Basically, excuse me, I think that those were, like, you have a literal numbered list that is, like, do these things for this stuff to finish this event. Like, that's very easy to wrap your head around, very easy to drill down and be like, hey, I have to kill 50 chocolate goober ghosts.
Maybe 3, my dude. 4 if you can't count Vis, but she's not out yet.
Oh, people are debating about Tamamo's available.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, like, I think the mission format is easier to just wrap your head around and then go for it, right? Like, it's really easy to do, and it can be grindy, but usually you're grinding for, like, individual missions on a small scale of, like, I must defeat 10 of these, or 5 of these, or do this quest several times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And often, with mission events, they have so many different little nodes and stuff that you can often get them done in multiple places, you know?
Yeah.
So that's my favorite style. What about you, Lucky?
Actually, I think I said missions before, but I'm gonna switch to Lotto this time. Lotto events are both a blessing and a curse. They really are. One, they're a blessing. They let me get a bunch of QPs and gems, and I eternally need them. And you basically get as much out of it as you put in. Unfortunately, this means that some people are gonna put a lot of fucking in and just go absolute ape shit. And then I look at the, like, measly, like, 40 boxes I do, and I'm like, I don't feel good about this anymore. Cause
the measly 40 boxes, he says.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that, like, sometimes I'm like, I only did 15 boxes. Herp de derp.
And so, like, cause I was talking about meta. There's, like, this thing too where people are like, oh yes, I have completely smooth brained this method, and I can do this 3 tons maximum droppage, and I'm gonna be smashing that left tit for days, yo. I'm just all like, oh, okay, I do good, yay. But like I said, I do just enjoy the resources. Like, I still technically haven't run out of money from the Lotto because we've been getting infuses semi-regularly here. But like I said, I'm already out of caster gems, so good job, me. But just the ability to just basically generate as much skill gems in QP as you can, as fast as you can, it's pretty great. I think the only real big downside about that is, aside from the QP embers and skill gems, you don't really necessarily get a lot of good mats out of it. Not necessarily. Usually there's a few in there, but if you're getting them, you're probably already had a fair amount of them to begin with. I don't think they ever really have, like, primo mats and Lotto yet. I don't think.
No, not pure. Like, they're a good supplement, but the ratio is usually not enough for it to matter per, like, box. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay, cool, you can get 2 bones per box. Yes, if you do like 200 boxes, you get 400 bones. However, you level up like 2 servants to 10, 10, 10, you're out of fucking bones, because the max requirements for some servants are animals. So, yeah, it's hit and miss with that part. Skill gems are usually worth it, though. Just because you get like 2-1-1 or 2-2-1 or something.
I believe it's 2-2-1.
Good ratios.
Good ratio. Golden ratio. Golden! When is the next Kentucky raid up?
I don't know. It will exist. Kentucky's very popular.
It is popular. I want one. Anyway. Technically White Day? I guess that's true. Anyway. Thank you very much. We move on. This next one comes from Asking for a Friend. And they say, hey, Lucky Mega, hopefully you're all doing well. I'm a new player who just finished completing the Solomon Singularity and hoping to finish LB Chapter 3 before the comma event. My dilemma is at the moment is that most of my best 4 to 5 star servants are capped at level 80 and I don't have my ascension materials to ascend them to level 90. So my question for you is, how should I continue on to LB3 with my level 80 servants, or should I wait until I have a few servants at 90? Thanks again, and may your rolls be blessed.
So, okay. Lost belts are definitely a little bit of a difficulty spike, but that may have more to do with your variety of servants than their specific levels. I would actually say what you should do is, and this is if you're relatively new to the game, I should, let you know about this. What you should do is you should check on whatever your preferred wiki is, the growth curve of your selected servants. They will be listed as something like, what is it? It's like...
S, semi-S, reverse S.
Yeah, it's like linear S, semi-S, reverse S. Basically, that describes the curve of what you get. If a servant's growth is linear, that means that they always improve their stats the same amount every time until they reach their max every level, basically. Whereas S is a curve that drops off but then gets high again and then drops off. So in the middle, you have a lot of sharp growth, but at the ends, early levels, and those late levels, you have less growth. And I believe reverse S is the opposite way. It's like you have big growth in the early and late levels, but poor growth in the middle. So if you have a servant who's got like growth curve S stats, you're probably not getting a lot of stats out of those last 10 levels. Like, you should be fine with decently leveled CEs and hopefully decently leveled skills. Because the thing about Final Ascension is it doesn't really add anything other than those last couple of levels, right?
Which can be helpful.
Yeah, no, like if you've got a servant who like is reverse S and those last levels are pretty important, it can absolutely matter. But you should actually you can actually do your research and double check who's worth it. And if you feel like some of your important servants will require those extra stat levels, another way you can see how much impact you get, look at their final stats versus what the stats are you have in your servant, right? Listen, Robin, I'm not part of this argument anymore, okay? But you can actually look and see what your stats are at level 80 and what your stats will be if you max them out to 90, barring foes and grails and stuff. Heck, depending on your growth rates, you might actually be able to with foes. I don't know if they do it this way, but I could totally conceive that some servants don't get a full 1,000 out of their last 10 levels or something dumb, right? That could totally happen. This is FGO.
Alright.
So that's what I would say to you, is to do a little of your research, double check your servants, see if those last 10 levels will be impactful, and then otherwise, just wing it.
Alright, so I'm going to give you a little bit more concrete events. So first off, make sure you do the next few upcoming events. Make sure you do the Prisma rerun, and make sure you do the CCC reruns before comma, isn't it? Is before OQ?
Yes, it's immediately before. That, so CCC is also a high difficulty event. That one might be a little bit rough, but you can at least partake in it now that you've cleared Solomon, so I'd say give it a try, yes.
Give it a try, because, as I said, with the Prisma rerun, you'll be able to get a single target arts archer at NP5, super important, and you'll be able to get a Moon Cancer NP5 arts from those. As I said, both really super useful, and usually you can get enough materials in there to get them both max leveled and maybe a few skill levels.
Yes, for Prisma especially, you should easily be able to, with you beat Solomon and you have level 80 servants, you should absolutely be able to get through Prisma.
Yeah. Like I said, you don't necessarily need to wait to complete Lost Belts. Like I said, another thing is, rely on your friends list. So, as I said, for new players, this is go to things. Shoot, if you need help, me and Omega post our friend codes in the description of every show, and I have a habit of accepting all low level players.
Yeah,
just to help them out. But if I go to my list and I see that they haven't played in 2 weeks, they're gone.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and like this is why also there's that follow feature.
Mhm.
I think you can't access that if you've already out of part 1, but you may already have people you did follow.
Mhm.
You can absolutely hit up some people for support lists. I know a lot of people who, when Lost Belt started in JP, people jumped in right then and absolutely cruise controlled the shit out of it with help from like level 90 or level 100 grailed servants, right?
Like I said, and again, and if you're a little low on materials, make sure you pay attention to those event stores and events, because usually a lot of what you need you can find in there.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure, for instance, if you have a caster you want to level, you want a final ascension, right? I'm pretty sure there's going to be caster statues of both silver and gold varieties in the upcoming Prisma shop, if that's a problem for you. There will also be several other materials. I don't know exactly what's in there. We'll look at that when it gets announced. But they do make sure to, before an event comes out, let you know what you can exchange for. So you can do a fair amount of clairvoyancing.
Yeah, so basically that's what I'm going to say. Use clairvoyance and see who you might want to level and get up in time. And just work on the lost belts when you can. Like, don't necessarily worry about, having to, like, rush it all at once, because you still got time. Ochi's not till what, March? April?
Yeah, it would be like late March, early April.
Yeah, so you still got time. And 3 lost belts. And remember, lost belts, while they are big chunky stories, they're a lot of fighting and a lot of reading. I don't personally recommend this because it goes against my ethics in playing the game, but if you need to, just skip fucking story, knock out battles, and go back and read it later.
Yeah, you can read later. Some people will do that on timelines.
Yeah.
By the way, Tokugawa Kaiten Labyrinth Okyu in Japan, March 27th to April 9th. Yeah, so
okay.
Tail end of March into April.
So, yeah, as I said, so work on the lost belts where you can. Just skip story if you want. Like I said, I don't condone it personally, but it is an option. Pay attention to events. Events have a lot of goodies. Honestly, that's where I get most of my stuff. I almost never, ever, ever actually farm materials. I just wait for an event to give me what I need. That's what I usually do. And
yeah,
guess what?
I think the only point where I usually go out of my way to farm mats is like an event is coming up and I want to complete a servant for it, and I'm like, well, shit, I need this now. And the off chance that the event doesn't give it to you, because obviously for a lot of these events they have a decent number of bonus servants, so they can't give you the food for all of them,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, events are just how you do. Out of stakes, I'll just wait. Anyway.
And like I said, pay attention to your friends list. FGO has a lot of things but you have to actually be willing to look into them and use them. So, as I said, if you need like high level friends, our friend codes are in there. Put us on there. I have a fuck ton of empty space. I really do.
I may or may not have empty space. I probably need to double check my friends code though. And hey, we also have a channel called Friends /Support in our Discord, which only exists for people to post friend codes and support setups for various gacha games, usually FGO. So you can also just pop in our Discord if that's not too much trouble, and you can like find some friends who are usually willing to hook you up if you need somebody in particular.
Yes. Also, in regards to that, join our Discord, go to our list attorney and say, hey guys, I'm having trouble with such and such battle. Can I get some help? We have a lot of helpful people in our community who sometimes are assholes, but we have a lot of helpful people who will sit down with you, talk you what you got, give you some pointers, and basically help you on your way. It's one of the things I'm super proud about these guys, and the only reason why I don't eat them in the space sometimes. So
it's bad for now. Look, he just looks at the big red delete server button. Not
there was
today.
a meme about not today. So I hope that was helpful. I said a lot of stuff. I don't know if it was actually any good, but
it was advice.
It was advice. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope your future battles go well. And please, let us know how things are going. We move on, though. This next one comes from a hunter in search of a kidney to sell for Kama. I know this pain. Remember, it doesn't have to be your kidney. Anyway, they say, got no real questions this week, but I do want to say I hope this week is going well for you and Omega, both, and I also am sorry lucky that DW took your wallet and now have made a power play for your kidneys with this Stealth Da Vinci banner. Ha ha ha. Foolish mortal.
Teleports behind you, steals your kidneys.
Mm-hmm. Edit. I'm happy to see that D-Double in the various attempts at Puerto Rico. Congrats on the Da Vinci.
I really need to find a button so that on demand I can just make the DBZ teleport like sound. It's a great sound effect, and I wish I could just make it happen in my life whenever I want.
No, this is why soundboards are a thing. Alright, so thank you very much. This next one comes from Sencho is Love, Sencho is Life. Sencho is a mother... I don't have a fucking beat button.
I could generate tone, but that's very finicky to sync up on your end.
Yeah.
You could just say it uncensored.
Yeah, I don't
Be
give
like
a fuck.
Coco.
Sincho is a motherfucking meme lord. Anyway, they say, ahoy, last week you answered a question about assembling a team for a heist. What about an opposite, assembling a team of 4 to foil a heist and Sherlock is nowhere to be found? I'm gonna be a dick and I would say I would just grab the exact same 4 people.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yep. Listen.
I mean, there are some other security specialists. Like, maybe we should get Carmilla in on this. She's great at not letting people into places or out of places. But yeah, no. It's. Have you ever watched the movie film Sneakers, starring Robert Redford? It's a great film.
Yeah, let's get Carmilla. We'll put in the stereos in there. Yeah, actually, that's all I need. I just need a stereos. It's like, hey, you see this thing? Put it in the deepest part of your labyrinth. Okay, bye, thanks. Remember, the point of a Stereos labyrinth isn't to find treasure; it's to get the fuck out, and you can't do that.
Yep.
And anyway, oh wait, there's a read more. Thanks for your hard work and looking forward to the pre-make Roma. Me too. I'm ready for Gentleman Blackbeard. Me too. Do you look at the crab? Me too. That is ancient game. Well, it's not the most ancient Game Grumps, because I remember.
It's still pretty fucking old.
Yeah.
This is something, since they've started doing like compilations and stuff as like filler videos because they're apart, that's something I've noticed is that, man, I've been watching Game Grumps for a long time too, and some of their jokes are old. Anyway. We only got like a few left.
Anyway. Give me a second. Just gonna rub my forehead. Okay. So thank you for that, and we're gonna move on to this next one. Who this guy? Hello! I have but one singular, all-encompassing question for the both of you. Math? No.
Okay, so, but I actually have to explain this one.
Okay.
Because there is a decent discussion in here, but this is a meme question. So, this was, gosh, I don't even know what day this was. Was this fucking Monday or something? I don't know. It was a weird thing. But so, Vesper, one of our community members, friend of the show, even, we can say. One of my fellow Progression Tournament players.
And DM.
Yeah, well, I think we're gonna have to go on hiatus, like I said, because of school. But yes, at least for this week, my DM in D&D was absolutely rackling, super wrinkling their brain, extra double wrinkles on trying to make Prince of Landling's buff success 60% buff work without leveling that skill that increases buff success chance by an X number of percent all the way to 10, which would make 40%, so, 60 plus 40, 100. By using a relatively new CE, it came out with Lost Belt 3. I believe it was Lost Belt 3, yeah. It's called, like, Widow in the Window or something. It's supposed to increase your self-buff success rate by 10%. However, Vesper attempted this strategy with the skill leveled up to be 30%, right, which I believe is skill level 6. Landling's inherent 60%, and then the 10% from the CE. It's 15% if you max limit break it. And somehow this buff missed Landling, which led us in this super long rabbit hole of circular conversations about how the fuck that happened. I actually debated making this a pro tip, but it was also confusing and very long.
Would it work as like how buffs work and certain bonuses stack with certain bonuses?
I think so, because the CE has an icon which is different than the icon used for buff success rate up. So I think the only thing I can assume is that even though the language is exactly the same, for some reason the CE counts as a different type of buff itself, so that it becomes multiplicative rather than additive. But we don't have any proof on that. So this is just like a weird math thing that worked out where, like, hey, test it on your own. Check it out with that CE. I believe Vesper actually said the actual translated name is Beauty in the Window. So, yeah, it's...
I'm sorry, I'm laughing a little bit because apparently y'all just had this big long conversation. I just go, is it just because it's different buses? And apparently that was the same conclusion that you guys
because we were all like... And like I said, there was some circular arguing. There were some people who got late to the conversation, so there was a little bit of like, okay, fact-checking. What's going on? Hold on. What did you start? Like, double-checking to make sure that everything was right, and Vesper angrily sitting there going like, no, I've already done this math. 60 plus 30 plus 10 should be 100, yes. But yeah, as far as anybody in the Discord server can tell, is that it counts differently, and it's multiplicative then, not additive. So try this out on your own, and be aware that sometimes this matters.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Different buffs do different things. Different
And
numbers.
sometimes buffs
Stuff.
that you don't think are different are actually different.
Wild.
Spaghetti code. Anyway, we have broken the 2.5 hour mark. Let's keep going.
Yeah, anyway, but still, the question, to your answer your question, no math. No math.
None of that.
One second. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So this next one comes from Dave Lord Nreta. I think that's how you say it. But they say, do you think foreigners with connection to H.P. Lovecraft are relating to anything? Or maybe the alien gods will have some sort of connection to H.P. Lovecraft? Funny coincidence, just got Kasushika.
Hey, so
Big yawn.
I am like,
right there.
yeah, I know. It's now 10:30 at night. Okay. I did eat dinner before this though, but it was just mac and cheese. Instant mac and cheese, BT dubs. So I probably don't have enough juice to keep going at full brand.
Ron.
Wrinkle brand. But I almost feel like I can say with confidence, given the way that Abigail did come back, is that at some point the magical dimension traveling gentleman will return. Like,
Yes.
there's no way that's not going to come back. Will that be like a plot thing? I don't fucking know. But Abby came back, and came back a couple of times actually, if you take into account her interlude. And that guy Randolph Carter is just H.P. Lovecraft self-insert. So yeah, no, there's some meta context there that's probably going to come back.
Anyway, you have that answer. I'm willing to stick with it. So we're going to move on. Thank you very much. The next one comes from the guy who's QP blocked from having the level 100 U Python. Another man's wife is truly the best. That's a quote for something, and I can't remember where.
Yeah, I don't know either, but yeah, that's absolutely some weird half-assed translation from a manga or doujin or something.
Listen, as a man who was asked to have slept with another man's wife, it is not the best. I got kicked out of the Navy for that shit, okay? Oof. Anyway, they say, Dear Lucky Omega, I tested positive for COVID for today. Oof. Don't worry, I just have a slight cough and have no sense of taste or smell. That's horrible.
I mean, that's a mild symptom, so that's pretty good. Best
Okay.
of luck to you, sir.
Best of luck. So I found myself with some influx of free time. My question this week is, what servant do you want to level but haven't had the free time or motivation? Thanks in advance and keep up all the good work.
It's definitely time or resource based, not motivation. I really want to work on my Nero Bride, but also I feel like I don't want to just do Embers right now.
I know this feeling. I don't know. I might put on some smooth jazz. I might do it. I got 2 books to read. Actually, I got 3 books to read. I'm like 2 chapters into fucking Poison River?
Poison River, a Daidoji Shin mystery. Yeah.
Because I'm digging the characters, but I'm just all like, I have other books to read and stuff to do.
Yeah.
I read a few pages on the bus to and from work, but it's super slow.
By the way, I just want to say, speaking about that pleb who dared question if we played Persona 5, the moment you said smooth jazz, I'm just thinking Shapeshifter.
Actually, fuck. I was actually thinking. I can't remember the name of it. It plays when it's raining.
Well, so there is an After the Rain remix of Shapeshifter.
Oh, that might be it then.
Yeah, there's two variants of the song. Yeah, that's Shapeshifter.
Yeah,
that's just
okay. That's
the
Shapeshifter.
lyrics are the same, but the tone of the music and the notes are slightly different. Whether it's
Yeah, no, the After the Rain version. Yeah, that's
the rain version is the ultimate rainy day jazz music.
It really is. I didn't know it was called Shapeshifter. Again, well, Lucky's horrible with names, by the way. So.
Well, and also they didn't package the OST in, so how would you know?
True. Anyway, for Lucky's answer, I have do you know how many level 1 servants I have? It kills me.
Actually, I'm wrong. The lyric is Shapeshifter. It's Beneath the Mask.
Oh, Beneath the Mask. Okay, now I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how good I am with brain. There's no 24-hour version.
Rude.
I mean, I can get you the 10-hour though.
That might be good. But right now, oh yeah, that's the version I read because that dude's the guy who's I don't know why, but the guy just has a knife and he's flipping it in his hand for some odd reason. Nah, I've listened to that shit. Yeah. But right now, I'm staring. I think I have a level 40 something Kets and a level 50 something Mothman. I'm just because immediately post them. I got Benny Emma, who's still only level 85. I'm just so and right now I'm looking at Altera because she's on the list of double suck great super suck chance.
Yeah.
But then I just got Da Vinci, so I'm all I'm on the floor now. It's all like, why do I keep rolling new servants? Stop it, Lucky. Stop it. And then, Tyranny Rabbit Devil gets on my shoulder like, no. He's like, no, Lucky, roll more. Roll more, get them all. Get them all. And then Angel Tyranny Rabbit's like, yes, get them all. I cannot win.
Sympathy for the Devil just starts playing in the background.
That's a great song. Please allow me to introduce my... Oh, wait, no, I don't want to get this fucking...
I bet we could physically fight the Rolling Stones, Lucky. We cannot fight Sony, and I would not want to fight Maya Sakamoto, but I think we could take the Stones.
I was like, can we just... I'd probably go up to Sony. Can't, Maya Sakamoto just slap me and we call it good? I'm not a masochist, but I mean...
She turns into a German suplex, breaks her back, makes you humble.
All right. Anyway, we're going to move on.
2 hours, 40 minutes.
We're moving on. Thank you. We move on to the one who desires... The one who desires to call his queen pet B.
Ah, you want to die.
They say, do you think Reyna's is enough to make Berserkers relevant for hard podcasts coming forward? Besides stuff like Double Marilyn Kajuna, of course. My level 100 MP5 Pith really wants to go ham in LB5.
I mean, she'd probably be able to go ham in LB5 anyway, because there are probably a lot of Greek dudes in there.
Yeah, probably.
I mean...
Berserker strats are always a little finicky. It's usually about how much defense you can lay on them while they're laying to hurt on things. This is why I am a stout defender of Tomacat with, self-heal, HP up.
Okay, so, by the way, the reason why for people who don't know, the reason why they're asking about Sima Yirenes is that her NP effect is to negate defensive class disadvantages for allies, so allies don't take extra damage, which includes Berserkers. I wanted to double check that it was everybody. So, yeah, that's very interesting. I don't really know if that, truly makes or breaks Berserkers, because a lot of them are still squishy. But she does have a targetable invul and stuff. If that's the strategy you want to go, is you want to take her to enable Berserker strats, I can't see it hurting.
Hey, different strats for different folks. My usually Berserker strat is layer as much damage on them and kill them before they kill me.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then if you're Ku Alter, you just refuse to die.
Or Herc. Yee. Anyway, thank you for the question. We're going to move on. Omega's passing out slowly. This next one comes from Chaos Noodle Dragon, who's avoiding becoming a pig and became a hotel manager. Cyrus 21. Chaos Noodle Dragon Noodle?
Neat.
Is this a reference to something?
I don't get it. It's fine.
Cyrus 21. Next week, explain your Chaos Dragon Noodle.
If they'd said something about a noodle fiber, I would have got that one.
Anyway, they say, hey guys, missed a few episodes of yours due to real life. This is why they're up forever. I'm close to going on vacation. We'll be playing FGO in my spare time. Anyway, with Fate Grand Carnival short that came out recently, what do you think of Good Ghost Betrayal? Does it fit your headcanons for the Nameless Master we fought in the Paul Bunyan Learning With Manga event? If not, what are your headcanons? My opinion, Ian remains of the 4 coups was waste of prisms. I did like her interactions with Red Hair / Lubu. She was even shown dancing with carrots in the ad for Carnival and had a red hair mug. Maybe the ship is related to the Valentine's thing with Lubu. Blushing as the plan reminds him of Changong.
Well, I don't know about that because we don't have that Valentine's yet.
No.
I feel like there was a lot of headcanons yourself there that, as we learned from this event from Learning With Manga, you should discard. No, you don't have to. But I mean, Carnival is not Learning With Manga, so I don't know why we're trying to force that comparison. I mean, there's definitely, no matter what you do, the act of burning servants, burn cell, is inherently funny, if not horrifying. It can only be one or the other. We'd prefer it to be funny. And who the fuck knows? Maybe mana prisms taste great. I bet they have the same taste and consistency. Sorry to that one guy who's got COVID and can't taste right now. As lime jello cubes.
I was feeling that too.
It could be pretty nice, little tart, little sweet. I don't know why they picked red hair.
So clearly, we've just been given Da Vinci snacks.
That's got to be how it works. She's just eating the mana prisms. But no, what I was gonna say is I don't know why exactly they went with the funny red hair Lubu things. But that I assume that was just a reference that every player can understand about their weird grailed 3 stars. My Medusa says hi. Everybody's got one of those moments or knows one of those guys. Yes, very very funny meme.
Yeah, and like I said. I'm not going into Carnival with any particular headcanons, because that's, to me, Carnival Phantasm is, you see these rules? Throw them out the window. We're going to do stuff.
Hercules, bring me inner loop batteries. What?
It's a grail rule. Only it's a game show. Coup! He dies every time, all the time.
Mm-hmm. Granny Bike!
Bazooka!
Don't worry, Arturia. We're only going to be able to afford instant noodles from now on, but we'll win. Lion, go! Carnival Phantasm was great.
Actually, shoot, was that the first time fucking Saber Lion showed up?
Yes, I believe that was a skit about the fucking saber lion in her natural habitat.
Through a coup. Coup got 8.
Yeah.
Listen, Carnival Phantasm makes no goddamn sense, and I'm not expecting Fate Grand Carnival to do either. Just make me laugh. That's all I want. Listen, Lucky was super stoked yesterday because finally the next season of well, I say next season, but technically it is World Witches Take Off, which is basically a spin-off comedy on the Strike Witches franchise. And it's completely and utterly ridiculous. Makes no fucking sense. The animation is pretty much horrible, but the jokes fucking slay me.
Yeah, no, that's how it goes.
Like, and that's all I want out of Carnival. That's all I want. Just that exact same mood.
That's how you do a gag manga.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Azure Lane has a similar thing where they've got like a 4 coma.
Oh yeah, no, that's slow ahead.
Different than how they handled the other anime.
Well, that's because Azure Lane actually said, no, we're gonna make our own damn animation company and make this, goddammit. Fuck you. Actually, the first episode's out and it's cute. I'm excited for it. Actually, I should actually write a note of the animes and my thoughts on them because otherwise I'm not gonna remember them at all.
Yes, that was a plot point from last week's What's Up. Is Lucky wants to talk about anime, doesn't have a list of anime in front of him, can't remember to talk about all the animes.
Nope. Anyway, but we got 4 more to go, so I'm gonna get
Power up,
boost. But so the next one, thank you very much. The next one comes from Suna, who says, "Happy Friday, Lucky and Omega. Your favorite server corners you asking for to do something because they are bored. What would you recommend them to help with their boredom? Hope your weekend's relaxing and your future rules are breath. My thing is go to the simulations.
Farm embers.
Yes. Question answered. Moving on. This next one comes from Alia.
Hey.
I don't know if they're saying making some sort of name or they forgot the S. It's up in the air. But anyway, Alia, who's uber excited about getting his old man in P2 and 110 roll. Powerful. Very powerful. I hate you. Question. Yo, guys, I've been wondering about looking at the new skin that Kentucky got with LB 5.5. Is there any servant who we interacted with in one of the LBs Okay, hang on. I'm trying to read too fast here. Yo, guys, I've been wondering a bit after looking at the new skin that Kentucky got with LB 5.5. Is there any servant that we interacted within one of the... Okay, that's why I got tricked up. Within one of the LB that we've done so far in NA, you guys wish we get a costume more fitting to what someone from the time at which the LB diverged from property human history was wearing, and how would you like that costume to be? Of course, there always have to be not fully tied to Legend of the Servant. They can be wacky as the summer versions or skins. I would like to see someone as Gigabuff as Spartacus and Formal Chin Empire attire. So apparently the guy happy his old man decided to answer his please twice in the same 10 shot.
Okay, cool. What did the first half of this question have to do with the second half of this question?
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't think anybody in Lost Belt has actually had any really good costume calls that they haven't done. That has happened in NA, at least. Other than maybe... Well, no, technically in his first Ascension, Sigurd still has red eyes. You can still get red eye Sigurd.
Also, I mean... I'm hoping Tomovich has some sweet Ascensions, harking back to World Days.
Well, yeah, Vitch has a lot of different things to go from, but yeah, she's not out yet, so we don't even know what her costumes are like. I'm gonna guess that Wadarko's gonna go crazy, and they're gonna be wildly different every level.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, I don't think anybody really showed up who has anything different to do so far.
Yeah, like I said, just in the ones we have, no, I can't think of anything. Honestly, that's usually a plot point, is how usually out of place we hecking are.
Yeah.
Anyway, we ain't got time to think about this. We're going to move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Alias. Tamamo is the best student of Benny Emma, who says, "Hey guys, as we finish the Benny Emmas, what other servants of my Emiya can survive Benny's hellish cooking lessons? Oh, and good luck on your roles in the future." Probably Boudica and Raiko.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could see Raiko as stumbling like some of those other chumps did, but also Raiko is almost literally a monster and would probably just be fine in Hell Kitchen anyway.
She'd probably cry.
She might be sad, but she would also be like, wait, so cooking is just beating up monsters?
Ushi Wakamara would not do good. I would tell you that right now.
No, but I don't think Ushi would try.
No, she wouldn't.
Ushi would be like, feed me, Benkei. And Benkei would somehow survive, even though he shouldn't. He should be dead, but he wouldn't.
Let's see, other contenders. Kirky, I think, would be okay. I feel like she might have.
Kirky would need cooking lessons, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think she'd like excel at it, but she wouldn't fail at it either.
She'd have some very particular things she could do.
Yeah, but no, like I said, my top two, it's just Boudica and Raiko, part of the official Chaldea kitchen team, along with Emiya, Tommy Cat. Tamamo, not so much.
Actually, we should probably say technically Cat would too, because I don't, as a actual separate entity, Cat has not undergone it, but Cat
has mad respect for it.
Yeah,
and apparently was able to keep up in the kitchen, even though they bonked each other for a bit. That was kind of hilarious.
Also able to keep up in the kitchen, even though she's wearing those incredible dumb mittens.
And we should say honorable mention, Mash.
Yeah, Mash did clear Jigoku Kitchen first circle, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, last question.
Last question. Thank you very much. This last one comes from he who does work out to look like a JoJo character. If everyone did not pose, you have failed. But they say, question, if you collect 7 servants to see, no.
Yeah.
How many times do we have to tell you, don't make us design your goddamn prayer war?
You already decided it. It's fine. You've got a whole list. You did it. Great. Good job. You don't need to apologize for your bad English. It's fine.
Just not doing it. Nope. We still got shit to do. It's almost 8 o'clock. It's almost reset time.
Yeah.
Oh god, that means I only got 10 minutes. Jesus, I thought I'd be done so I could farm more. Ah!
Monologue and everything. Also, hey, Lucky, did you... I don't even remember. You said you were working on a thumbnail. Did you do a thumbnail? Did I forget it? Have you posted a thumbnail?
No, it's 2/3 done. I was trying to figure out the last fucking image.
Okay.
But I had to read.
We've been here for almost 3 hours.
All right,
to put in perspective for the people who are like listening to an audio or video version that I've compressed down. No, we've been actually here for like almost 3 hours. But that is mailbag.
Should I just put it on the... Wait, actually.
And now to let Lucky think about his thing and work. I will actually speak for a little bit, because, as mentioned earlier, there's absolutely no back half to be had here. Like, we can guess that Prisma will happen, but we've already talked about that. It's a rerun, so go find our Prisma pregame. It exists. You can find it. It's out there. I believe one of those thumbnails involves a very funny thumbnail where I put, Maeve, Raiko, and Ku Alter's faces on some people sitting on a couch, and I called them Magical Girls. Ku Alter is Magical Girl Dino Dog. Raiko is Magical Mama. Yeah, it's probably that one, or at the very least, like, we're within the same ballpark. But other than that, we don't have a lot to talk about, so I will do, like I said last week, and to make sure that we've got plenty of time to talk about whatever the fuck happens next week, I'm going to do Fanservant Friday. Today. Right now. Friday. January 15th. For the hour and 10 minutes, it is still Friday. And so, as voted by our patrons, patreon.com/StudiOmega YT, unfortunately with 2 O's. I don't think I can get it with 1 O. But yeah, our patrons of the 5 and up level, silver, voted and have showed us what they wanted. Which was Johanna, aka Pope Joan.
Hope! So,
background context. Hold on, I'm going to mute games really quick because people are having a conversation there and it's distracting me slightly. For those of you who don't know, background, Pope Joan, also sometimes called Johanna or Johanna, or a lot of other names, is a probably fictional pope. We're like 99% sure she didn't actually exist. But according to folklore, starting in the 13th century, there was speculation and hypothetical records that at some point during the earlier years of the papacy in the Middle Ages, there had been a woman who had been disguised as a man by her lover, and who had studied far and wide about theology and science, and so in disguise was elected the Pope. Pope John, one of those Pope Johns. But was then discovered, usually after giving birth during a papal procession, which kind of gives it away. And then there's a lot of different iterations that happen then, but basically then Joan has to stop being the Pope, or just dies. Just straight up Disney Channel movies. And and is dead. And so then the Catholic Church decides to have Pope Joan stricken from all records and never speak about this again. And this is also where the urban legend of there's a piece of papal furniture called the sede stecorore. I may know that because that'll come up as a skill thing. Where hypothetically there's a chair with a hole in it where the Pope is supposed to sit, and one of the cardinals will check that Pope is male. Through the way that you would expect from a chair that has a hole in the bottom. It's actually probably not. It's actually probably like an ancient toilet seat kind of rig. So your pontifical butt cheeks don't have to touch the latrine or whatever. But it was a very popular urban legend and persisted for a lot of years until modern scholars kind of dug in there and were like, nah, this is probably not true. Oh, hey, somebody just saying that the Prisma pregame is Let's Talk number 50. Wild. Wacky. This is like number 173, I think?
Yeah.
Something like that. I'll know as soon as I'm done, because I will literally number it. But anyway. So you may also, considering it's funny, we had that Persona 5 discussion, you may also remember the legend of Pope Joan from that game, because that is Makoto's initial persona, Johanna, who is...
A bike.
Yeah, Pope Bike.
That's
Pope Bike! This one is not a bike. Before you ask. But yeah, so I thought this legend was interesting enough to take some cracks at and try and make as a servant, and got to do some fun stuff with it. Another thing to note is that there's a lot of like side theories as to why there was a legend. Some of it has to do with the concept of like artwork of a feminine pope-like figure, such as, for instance, the original Marseille Tarot. The card known as the High Priestess in English is called Le Pépesse.
Yes.
Literally the feminine form of the Pope, who is called the Hierophant, by the way, in the English Rider-Waite version. For some reason, we wanted to make it less Catholic. I don't know. Who could have guessed? But there's a lot of theories that this artwork is supposed to be more metaphorical. There is a concept in the Catholic Church as the concept literally of the Church as being called mother and teacher. So the Roman Catholic Church, quote unquote, is your mother and teacher kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's also, Bride of Christ, etc. kind of thing. So there are some scholars who believe that these images and ideas of the quote unquote female pope are aptly like a reinterpretation of just people metaphorically talking about how the church is a lady who is your mommy who will teach you about God and stuff. I don't know. I'm not Catholic. That stuff doesn't make any sense to me. There are also alternative options and things that we kind of explore as we dig into some of these things. So, obviously, being a pope, ruler, class, lawful good. Pretty obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can do some interesting stuff here. So, average strength and endurance, D's, agility E, low stuff there. Not a lot to be talking about being a pope who doesn't have any particularly aggressive papal legends. There are absolutely some shit like the Italian Wars and various papal states things you could do some weird stuff for. But, did do mana or MP B, luck EX, for reasons, and high level NP. Class skills, rulers get, magic resistance EX usually, so go that far. They get the power of God's resolution, those extra command seals, and true name discernment. I think I picked all the same skill levels as, like, Jean or Martha or something, because it's just normal, right? There's not a lot to go on with. Rulers get a lot of prepackaged shit. So for skills, first of all, we've got what I called Papal Supremacy, rank B, aka the skill of the one who is the Pope. So basically, hypothetically, if you ever got any popes, they would all have this kind of skill as basically a form of charisma, leadership skills, and not just the ability to unite a country, because, hey, the Pope is the ultimate authority of Vatican City, and previously this was called the Papal States. The Pope Hat was literally in charge of Rome and surrounding countryside for a long time there. But also the power to unify and direct an entire church of people, including leading them in crusade. And basically capable of not only negotiation, leadership, and all those skills, but actually being the literal highest authority in the Catholic Church. Right? Pretty basic, easy stuff. So, hey, shocker, if you've got a servant who is Catholic or associated with them, this skill would be ranked up against them, because they are a pope. It's very, very hard to go against that authority, guys. It be how it be. So that I think is just a generic skill that how I handled papal charisma. That all popes should probably have something like that at various levels.
Mhm.
Pope powers. You'll
Pope
see
powers
this
activate?
as a semi-theme through a couple of things here. I came up with some generic, because it's interesting that, like, the concept of being the Pope, whether it be, like, being apocryphal or like, famous or whatever, that, like, there's probably some overlap with servants, through ages of being summoned. However, I mentioned this earlier, Steracoria, an EX rank skill, named after the quote-unquote throne with a hole in it. Basically, the personal skill attributed to Pope Joan, based on all those weird myths and legends about how somehow a woman accidentally got nominated to be Pope, which, by the way, is a super popular in historical fiction and urban fantasy and lots of other things. Like, this is a very sticky legend. I'm actually kind of surprised Nasu hasn't heard about this one and run with it. But the skill, Steracoria, basically acts as a absolute blocker that, unless she admits that she is Johanna, the female pope, nobody can tell. Like, literally, you cannot determine her true name, her gender, or anything. You just are like, is that a pope? Pretty sure that's a pope from the hat. Which pope is that? I don't fucking know. One of those pretty typical interference-type skills. Because that's, the whole point of the legend is that some chick got elected the pope, and nobody even noticed that she was a lady until the fucking baby came out. Wild. Also, not entirely sure that's how that would work, but I didn't make this urban legend up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's that one. Like, if you guys want to talk about, like, FGO type stuff, this would probably be, like, a temporary buff that prevents gender-based modifiers from being applied. So, like, outright immunity to gender-based charms, immunity to, like, Jack's bonus damage, stuff like that, And in an actual, like, fluff way, that's what this skill would do a lot, is, like, nobody can figure out who this person is or even what their true gender is. Because mystery. And then the final skill is Wisdom of Athens. This is basically based on the most common thread, is that, hey, the reason why Pope Joan got elected Pope is that while disguised as a man, she went to Athens, the center of learning in that period, for many periods of history, actually, along with her lover, and studied basically every branch of human knowledge, including theology, philosophy, etc. So, basically, her wisdom and learning hit such a level that those cardinals up in Rome were like, hey, this John guy is real cool, we'll make him a pope. Oh no, a lady. So,
Gasp.
it's a little bit of a cop-out, but I think it's very relevant, where this is basically one of our infamous skill that turns into other skills. But it makes sense. This is like a natural genius or something, where, like, Johanna was supposed to have studied all human knowledge at the time and, like, was good enough to be the best decision of everybody for Pope, which is saying something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that establishes those three primary skills, probably some kind of card color-based buff or whatever. Figure it out. I don't always think about the FGO elements, but it's funny to think about sometimes. So rulers sometimes have a few noble phantasmos. Let's talk about them. So, remember how I said I had some themes that run as, like, I imagine these are accessible to all popes?
Mm.
Well, that's our first one here. Pontifica Cohors Helvetica, the Pontifical Swiss Guard, an anti-army noble phantasm ranked B+. Hey, guys, did you know that the Swiss Guard is one of the oldest continual military forces in history?
Oh, wow.
Yep. And they're they are the foundations of the Papal Guard and the military of the Papal States. So, while theoretically this would have been established after the period where, hypothetically, if she existed, Johanna would have been the Pope, it's still, as a noble phantasm, basically everybody who's ever been elected Pope gets the benefit of the Swiss Guard, because people think Pope, they think Swiss Guard. Basically, when you invoke this noble phantasm, armored soldiers with halberds leap forth to defend the faith and the Pope. They are not quite heroic spirits, but they are incorruptible knights and valiant defenders. They are phantoms animated by faith and nerve alone. And because the original unit of the Swiss Guard was 150, this is how many servants you can summon, or how many shades. So there you go. You've got 150 bodyguard halberd knights to appear out of nowhere and protect you, which would also probably make for some sick animations.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second one, these next two noble phantasms is where I get weird, y'all. So, first one, Sancta Mater Ecclesia, Holy Mother Church, A++, an anti-world / anti-evil noble phantasm. Hey, so remember how I talked about Johanna, well, not only being a mother and teacher, right, herself, that's actual thing, because that's the legend, but also there was a lot of this fluff about the Roman Catholic Church is mother and teacher, the Bride of Christ and all that stuff, Le Papus, etc. So that's basically this is a noble phantasm.
This is some Roma shit.
The metaphorical aspect of the Roman Catholic Church as realized as a noble phantasm. So basically, inner spirit origin, Johanna contains all the knowledge and history of the church. This fits because of her other history with stuff like, knowledge of being schooled in Athens and stuff. Basically, she's a pitch-perfect liturgical scholar. She has the complete history of the Roman Catholic Church downloaded into her brain, aka her spirit origin. And also, just as a fun fluff thing, means she has access to the form of magecraft known as the Holy Sacraments. So, because using this noble phantasm, Johanna is basically the personification of the Roman Catholic Church. She has access to all their knowledge, including their super secret branch of magecraft. Also means you can do other fun animations. And gives her some practical skills. And then I think this would probably be her animation NP. But basically, when its true name is released, Johanna is backed by a luminous image of the Vatican, a materialization of the very presence of the church.
Yeah, I was about to say, if there's not a fucking church in the background, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, like a giant luminous ghost Vatican appears and sheds its light everywhere. Basically, she is the embodiment of the church. This is its presence, its authority, manifested. The church's enemies are her enemies, its allies are her friends. The light of this noble phantasm being invoked repels all that is evil, so, demons, undead, anybody who's got malicious intent who's outside of the church, are just banished. You must get out. Power of Christ compels you and all that shit. However, anybody who accepts its light can be absolved of their sins. It forms an absolute pressure on sworn Roman Catholics to obey the church. So, basically, this acts almost as an extension of the command seal powers of a ruler, and why she'd be a great ruler, I think. Where, if you are Catholic, you're not supposed to disobey the Pope. That's not how it works. You're not supposed to disobey the church. So, there's some resistance that can be done with, like, certain skills and stuff, but Johanna possesses a counter to that even, where she can excommunicate targets, which, because of the way servant skills and noble phantasms work, might actually shut off some of their powers. You can't invoke your protection of the faith if you're no longer in the faith, nerds. However, there is a downside. Basically, if a servant is good but is outside the Catholic Church, it's just a very pretty light show. It doesn't really do anything. Like, it's cool, but she doesn't have any authority over them, and they're not actually evil. So, that's Noble Phantasm number 2. And then, Noble Phantasm number 3. Saeculum Obscurum, Age of Dark Antipope. This is a A- rank Noble Phantasm that is anti-personnel self. So, this is something I created after reading some other modern interpretations. Because some people are still like, but what if there was a Lady Pope? This name takes it from the name of this noble phantasm is taken from a period in history where papal succession was kind of unclear, and there was a dark age of popes, right? Mm-hmm. And there were periods where the so-called dark age of the Pope was brought in when actually papal mistresses controlled the papacy much more than the Pope did. By the way, if you guys didn't think that medieval popes fucked, you're wrong. Y'all need to look up some European history, post fall of Rome into Renaissance. It's crazy. But basically, this is the idea we're working with here, right? Where, okay, what if, maybe there was actually a lady pope and she was like a mistress, or maybe she was an anti-pope. And for those of you who don't know, anti-pope is a term of when there were more than one pope. Some people there would be multiple claimants to the papacy. Some of them were legitimate, some of them were not. The person who was usually either actively not legitimate or was later described as not legitimate was marked as an anti-pope or nega-pope. Basically, they were not the proper pope, so they're called an anti-pope. It's a very, very metal term for something that's very boring. So basically, this noble phantasm collects all these combinations of legends into the, hey, almost a Persona 5 type thing. What if Johanna was like a rebel pope, man? She like didn't follow your rules, man, because she had a womb and stuff. So when she activates this noble phantasm, which is technically temporary, she inverts her saint graph. She is no longer lawful good, she becomes chaotic good. Her raiment becomes black, because I'm imagining if in, like, normal look, she would look like a normal-ass pope. You know, big hat, floofy coat, staff, dangly giant gold crucifixes. This is where we get, you know, sassy Lady Pope, Dark Pope action. Aviator shades, short skirts, stockings.
I'm about to say, I better see some thighs here.
I noted that her attitude becomes from one of an authority figure to basically a delinquent. I explicitly name-checked the naughty nun trope. Basically, no longer is she a good and sweet Pope lady, your Pope mom. She swears, drinks, smokes, and engages in violence like an action movie.
She's no longer your Pope mom, now she's your Pope mama.
Yeah. You know, your son calls me mommy too, kind of a thing. So, while this noble phantasm is active, her close combat abilities and parameters are enhanced because she's a rebel. She also projects a form of barrier, which is an anti-church effect. Basically, she rejects the authority of the faith and the church from herself, so others find it hard to control her. You can't wield churchly powers against somebody who's like, fuck you, I'm the anti-pope! Double bird flips! Smoking cigars! Also, this plays into lots of anime tropes where, hey, Japan doesn't understand nuns. They just don't. It's because being a shrine maiden is completely different from being a nun, but they're really bad at it. And it gives us a lot of funny characters and, you know, interesting fetish character designs, because there's absolutely some things to be said for nuns anyway.
Yes. I, for one, am grateful for sexy nun portrayals.
So, this has a couple of other effects. So, while this ability is active, she is actively declaring, hey, I'm that lady pope you don't like. She can't hide her true name or gender identity. That's not how that works. But also, I wrote it in my notes, and I skipped it earlier, but when this noble phantasm is active, Pontifica Cohors Helvetica, instead of appearing as sweet, armored, semi-angelic knights, she instead manifests a corps of mercenary nuns with violent dispositions, wielding modern firearms and black keys.
This is awesome.
If this was a servant, I would say that this should be a noble phantasm that's like as a skill, like it gives her like anti-lawful damage or something. But this should absolutely be an ascension, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like this should be an ascension where she switches outfits and completely switches animations and stuff.
New voice lines.
Yeah. Yes, definitely go from like ara to like fuck you punk. I'll fuck you, you know, what is it like? I think it's one of Mordred's NP lines, like, Bookabut's, like, I'll beat you up kind of thing. Yeah, like, just
explode.
Yeah. Explode and die, normies.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's kind of the
I'll kill you.
Yeah, Bokuras. I'll kill you, kind of a thing, yeah. No, definitely some Black Lagoon influences here. So, this was just my fun little kit bash of, like, hey, this is a legend that's also got, like, legends within legends kind of a thing. So I came up with some cool Noble Phantasm ideas that kind of allow you to have one character who embodies multiple layers of this mythology, being both a regular pope, a secretly lady pope, who also might be a metaphor for the Catholic Church, and then just being a weird rebel feminist icon, which happens sometimes. Like, Lucky and earlier talked about servant ideas he has, where, like, one we've both gone back and forth, and I will probably have to do a stat spread for and include her in one of these, is, like, Lilith, the first woman in Jewish mythology, who absolutely should be summonable as a heroic spirit because of the power of modernism, because, one, she started as a human, but also, guys, in case you didn't know, Lilith is also a feminist icon, because her whole thing is she had to leave Eden because she told Adam she didn't want to be on the bottom, basically.
Yep.
Which, was not good and proper, apparently. But, like, that also means that a lot of people have some different postmodern interpretations of her, which is how you end up with heroic spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think that Lilith should have some heavy Devilman vibes, because there's a lot of weird association with, like, owls and birds. But that's just me. Anyway.
I'm fine with it.
So, yeah, that was my Johanna, Pope Joan stat block. Like I said, I got some interesting ideas, definitely some stuff that would apply to FGO, and I'm also, like I said, I'm really surprised that FGO has not latched onto this one, because this is one of those famous what-if gender flip characters you could easily work with. Mostly because it's fucking fake. Probably. Allegedly. Like I said, there are some scholars in the recent years who have legitimately tried to be like, yeah, no, there could have been... Listen, there are periods of, basically they were like, listen, there are periods of papal history where nobody had any idea who the fucking pope was. There absolutely could have been a woman in there pretending to be pope and just it didn't stick because the Catholic Church went back and sorted out their records. But there's not a lot of strong evidence for that hypothetical. So yeah, there you go. Ruler?
There you go.
So next week, I don't know exactly who's... Well, actually, if I looked at my own list, I could figure out who exactly it is, because I have several in mind. But next week, February's theme will be Lerv. True love. So you guys will have some fun ones to pick from when I decide to drop that poll. Because believe it or not, I have more than a few options in there. Sure. Like I said, if I literally thought about this, I could actually list... Should I just go ahead and list the servants I have in mind for the poll, Lucky?
Yeah, I want to hear them. You haven't told me. You haven't told me shit.
Okay, sure. I'll tell Lucky. So I'm planning on putting on the poll Avenger Melusine.
Sane. I remember.
Also, I might be pronounced Melusine. It's
I pronounce it Melusine.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure how it's supposed to be. I'll double check before I do that one. The poll. We're gonna have a possibility for let's see. I did put Joroguma was just on the last poll I did, wasn't she?
No, I thought she was in. There's gonna be. Oh wait, was she? I remember you talking about putting her on, but I don't know if she was on the last.
I don't know if it was in the last list or not. Let me double check my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, she was in there. It's probably too soon for her to come back. That's okay.
Too soon.
It's okay. We'll work on that. Let's see. Who then was it? Definitely Caster Pygmalion will appear. And Archer Psyche.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, I got a fun reason why that one happened. Oh, now I remember. Yeah, so it was Lancer Tamlin. It's another funny story of love. That could also do at Halloween, but I figure I already missed my chance there. We'll bring in Tamlin. So yeah, those are my plan fours, and we'll see how everything goes from there.
Psyche probably pretty
Actually,
wild.
was it Tamlin or was it Lamop? Muppin's about all for love, but that's not really Valentine's-y. Tamlin's definitely. So I've gone back and forth on a couple of these, because I have a lot. But I think we'll stick to those four I just named, for the sake of consistency. We'll bring these other guys back at other times. My list is also constantly evolving. Hey, when it goes to November again, we can add Assassin Guy Fawkes on the poll.
Aw, man.
I mean, you could argue some like, Tamlin's a Scottish legend originally, but, like, there are some interesting parallels between various Gaelic legends. We'll see if Tamlin wins.
We will see. There will be research, and skills, and stuff. And Guy Fawkes. Just have a skill gunpowder plot.
It's his NP, actually. One of them.
Oh, yeah, MP. Yeah, MP, yeah.
Gunpowder plot. Make Parliament explode.
Yeah. I mean, that's I think that's what it literally was called, was just
they just call it the gunpowder plot. Remember, the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Which is, everybody probably knows that because it was quoted in the movie version of V. And also, I believe, the comic book version of V. Anyway. John Johnson does job at place. Assassins are always interesting to tackle. I do like that with characters like Matahari and others, there are, like, units you can foresee as, like, more like spy or sneaky rather than outright assassins.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a lot of weirdness in them. Excuse me. But okay, I think that's everything in our show for now. Under 3.5 hours. We'll edit that down.
Edit it down.
Oh, Dallas wants the Archduke Ferdinand assassin, the guy who started World War I. That would be interesting, but I'm not entirely
That'd be
sure
interesting, but...
That would probably take some extra legwork just because...
I feel like
skill kits and shit.
I feel like you probably have the whole fucking crew.
I could do some research.
Research. Ah, shit, what's that?
It's very important research. It's honestly, like, research is the backbone of any interesting fan servant idea, because it's where real servants, like, get all their weirdness and extra shit and do all the fun stuff they do, is when the research team goes apeshit and tells Raita and Takeuchi about the Ushi-Gozen incident, and then suddenly, Big Titty Raiko.
Yeah.
Sorry, just double checking some of my notes. I definitely have enough materials that I'm going to get into to do, like I said, 1 month I can absolutely do just the Ancient Egypt month. Though, to be slightly fairly unfair, that will probably just result in a King Tut win, but I'll try. There's a lot of interesting figures in Egypt. Okay, all right. Let's wrap up the show, though, so we can go home. And by which, I mean, we're already home, but we can do stuff. Like, I need to go find my phone and log in. So, thanks so much for tuning in to Let's Take FGO this week. with all the stuff that's going on and doing stuff. By the way, the poll did end. Next week, Teach Omega Sensei will be What Are Dead Apostles. Shocking absolutely no one. The poll continued its middle finger shape all the way through to the end. So, gee, I'm so surprised.
Me too.
Shocked, even, to find gabbling going on in this establishment. So, we will see you guys next week for more Let's Talk FGO. We'll see you guys during the week for some stuff. What's Up will happen in some form. It'll be on this channel, probably. You can also get the audio on our Patreon. If you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give it a like if you liked it. Leave any comments in the comment section down below. That's super important. You can also, like we said, hit us up on our Discord. That link will be in the video description and on the channel page. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to always get further updates, videos, etc. You can also hit that bell for notifications so we always know when we post a new video. Usually I say something about when we stream here, but well, if you hit the bell now, you'll be first to know when this channel streams again sometime in April.
Spring!
Could have made a joke there, but I decided to skip it. Anyway.
Okay.
You can also join our channel. Membership, very important. Memberships, get emotes, stuff like that. Lucky's constantly working on new emotes. The more people who join, the more emotes we get.
I think I have to slap chat.
Are they just yelling about stuff?
Oh no, Dallas was all like, she's not an apostle. I was like, no, but she is an ancestor. And someone's like, she's technically not a true ancestor either. I'm just like...
Listen, they're talking about vampires. Don't argue with them.
I guess.
Don't descend to their level, Lucky. We're gonna have to deal with
won't.
enough of this horse shit next week. Vampires, y'all. Not even called fucking vampires. I think even they just, like, the actual net term for all of these is just, like, bloodsucker or something. Like, Nasu can't actually nut up and fucking call them vampires. We all know they're vampires, Nasu. You're not confusing anybody. Well, that's not true. Anyway, hit the bell for notifications so you always know when we have to have these discussions about stuff. Furthermore, you can support us on Patreon. You can get access to this episode in audio format early for as little as $1 a month or $10 a year. You can also join us live, vote in those polls I mentioned, stuff like that at different levels, and it really helps us out and supports us regardless of whatever shenanigans YouTube is undergoing right now. And, yeah, I think that's everything. So like I said, see you next week for more Let's Talk FGO, and we'll hit you up for other stuff at other times. And my final plug is go watch Progression Tournament. Okay, thanks, bye!